good this morning? Was good. I figured I'd tap in with everybody this morning. I think we all witnessing what's going on and what's going on in America right now and everything, the problems that's going on. And I went live yesterday and I was talking about everything. And I seen a response from last night and how things were turning out. But I really wanted to have a one-on-one and like a real conversation with everybody today about what's really going on, because I don't really think everybody really thinking this shit out clearly. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not mad about the protests because I understand. But if you pay attention to what's going on just from, looking all around the country through all the cell phones that's being released from people, cell phone footage, we got to start realizing that some of this shit is kind of like out of hand. Like, what's the end goal for this shit, right? Because every time I turn on the TV, I see the kids outside. I see 14, 15-year-olds. Good morning. I seen 14 and 15-year-olds outside. These are like the children that's outside, like teenagers, the young adults that's outside tearing shit up. I don't really see no older people outside in these riots. You know what I'm saying? And then if you paid attention to a lot of news stations, it's like, my question is, what's the end game? What's the goal? Because ever since when did we start rioting and doing it? Not that I'm mad about it. When did we start rioting out of anger with no end goal? Because right now, during the time when King and Malcolm and them was rioting or doing things, boycotting, there was an end goal to this shit, right? Meaning that they knew, like, it's a difference when, as a country, we frustrated and we all go outside and then flip the fuck out, right? Then a country being frustrated and then being unified and then being educated and then making a move forwards. And not always on the deepest level. When I say education, like they got to go to class. Nah, but strategic and understanding. I said yesterday had to be a unified front. And I noticed that it kind of happened. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of ways, a lot of the major cities who are affected the most, they went for it. But my question is, what the fuck is the end goal? And then it's like we such a sleep and fucked up people that it's like, it's entertainment, yo. You feel me? It's entertainment. And while we watch this shit on TV, it's kind of like, that's why I went live yesterday. Like, I'm watching this shit on TV and I'm seeing all these posts and everybody posts saying shit like, oh yeah, they lit and da-da-da-da, like, yeah, they lit until them sniper bullets start ringing the fuck out, right? But ain't no end goal. Where's the organization factor? When King and them did the bus boycott, there was a goal here. There was a goal to shut down, to break down the economic structure of the bus system that they were banking on in order to move forward, right? That's what they was on. You know what I'm saying? But it was a goal that went with this shit. And today, that's not what's really happening. It's like we see a lot of rioting, and I'm not judging the kids for being frustrated. Like, we tired of that shit. I'm talking about the kid. If people being frustrated and going outside and protesting, doing that, like, if that's what you feel, do you? You know what I'm saying? I personally feel like, I know from history, rioting ain't never did shit for us. You know what I'm saying? It's a good show of frustration. You know what I'm saying? But rioting ain't never did anything. You know what I'm saying? It's never did anything. And it's a lot of little shit. Like, am I the only person that's feeling like, yo, the police are a little too calm? Like, all this shit going on, they burning down the city, and they just stood back. They just sat back. You know what I'm saying? And we got to understand that, like, ever since when do a riot happen and then they go ham and ain't really no police like that? You know what I mean? Like, there really wasn't any police outside at the time. And I don't think anybody really paying attention to what I'm saying. There weren't no police outside, and they just and they burnt the police stations down, they burnt the city down, all of that, whatever. How you feel like it's your business, like, I ain't knocking. But ever since when do they just sit back and allow this shit to happen? What bothers me about this circumstance and this situation is the fact that, like, they kind of like, they're a little too calm right now with the shit that they doing. And everybody online, like, they lit, we should do this, we should do that, we should do this. I ain't never knocking nobody for rioting and feeling like standing up for their community, because, that shit is enough. But ain't no organization in this shit. So if everybody if right now, if where they at, they mad. LA, they mad. New York, they mad. What people don't understand, they not tripping. In New York, since the whole pandemic happened, And up top, they have murdered black men on just in the name of because they was too close together in social distancing. You know what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they tripping. And then they also had a string of killings in the last year in Minneapolis of black men. And just like LA, this shit been going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's like, it's that show. But in Minneapolis, it's a different environment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't understand, like, why is everybody so happy when there's no end goal? What is it that we want out of this shit? Are we rioting? We frustrated, but what do we want? Because it's not about being in control. I'm not knocking it. I'm asking if we do this shit, what do we want out of this shit? And what's the end goal? Because you can't convince me that even if we right now could push everybody off this continent except for us, we can literally police ourselves. And I'm not saying the police that we got are great, but I'm saying like, so we got our shit together so much that we could do this shit? That's the question. What's the end game? What is the goal? When niggas was boycotting in the 60s and the 70s and shit like that, or other times when it worked, there was a game. Like I said, the bus boycott was the cripple. They stopped using the buses and then they wasn't making no money. And once the public transportation started crumbling, they started thinking, and that's why the bus system has changed today. You know what I'm saying? If we gonna do this in the name of Ahmaud Arbery and everybody that's getting hurt and everybody that's got murdered, what is it that we want out of it? But, it's lit. Like, yo, I ain't know the Minnesota niggas turned up like that. That shit irrelevant, yo. That shit irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? It is. It really is irrelevant. Like any community of our people that get put in a situation like that will go ham. But I don't understand what's the point. Like I don't understand it. Like, think about the bigger picture. So let's go deeper than the rioting so y'all don't think I'm mad about the rioting. Listen, we just now getting off the break of the pandemic, so I guess y'all gonna say this shit fake, right? So you got all these people outside with this shit still going on. And niggas is thousands deep in these cities outside walking around in the street. We already the highest prone. Right now, we already catching this corona and this, whatever that B virus is that's killing niggas. We already catching this shit at the higher rate because we don't have health care and we don't have the proper measures, right? And then we going out here and we marching because we frustrated and we're ignoring the fact that it is some shit going on in the world, right? And people also mad because they've been sitting at home. But while we sitting at home, guess what? We not realizing, you ever think that this shit could be intentional, yo? See, that's the only thing I think that people need to think about. We already about locked down. You know what I'm saying? Once they pull a National Guard out and start martial law, which I think that we can just burn these cities the fuck down out of anger and don't have no plan later and then be like, oh, we gonna go back to living the normal? What are we gonna do? Because at the end of the day, the only thing I see, I get it, like this generation, like I see teenagers and young kids out there. When I watch this shit, I don't see many adults. Where are the parents? Where are the elders? And where are the leaders? Right? Not just saying no civil rights shit. I'm talking about what is the goal? Where are the leaders in this shit? Because at the end of the day, the kids is frustrated out there marching. But right now, it seems smart until they turn the guns on the children. Right? Because I don't really see a lot of adults. When you look at like the Atlanta joint that happened last night in Atlanta, you seen a bunch of like young adults and teenagers. You know what I'm saying? And they were mad and they was going ham. You know what I'm saying? The same reason why in the world it's all this killing and shooting, because they frustrated. They not like us. I always said, I respect the youth and the younger generation because I always said they not like us, yo. They not going to deal with the bullshit that our grandfathers and our grandmothers accepted. They not going to deal with the bullshit that our parents accepted. And they not going to deal with the shit that we, at our generation, at our age, and learn to accept because we just accepted the shit. They're a little bit more wild. They like I don't call it. It's kind of a blessing in some sense that these kids they didn't have the parenting we had, so it's a give or take. Like they're a lot more bolder, which is necessary because they not with the shit. But like Monster Cody said, being bold and being brave is a form of ignorance. Because just because you're bold, it's like, okay, we could go to war and I got a whole bunch of bold homies and we like, it's whatever. None of us might not make it out of that shit. It's just being bold is a character, is good, but being bold without anything behind it is fucked up. And that's what's going on. We mad, right? So Minneapolis, I understand. They upset, they frustrated, that shit going down, police not getting arrested. But what happens? So understand what I was trying to tell y'all yesterday. So Minneapolis gonna have to show force at some point. They're gonna, because at the end of the day, we gonna just let you keep rioting in the Twin Cities? That's why last night, if you paid attention, the city isn't in control no more. The state of Minnesota took over. And the Republicans, they looking like this shit crazy. Trump said last night, like, yo, this is a fucking, look at this bullshit. I'm telling y'all, I'm not saying we wrong. I'm just giving you the other side of the table. They not giving the land back. You could burn the buildings, but I ain't gonna let you go but so far because we took this shit in blood in order to enslave you motherfuckers. And y'all can get mad. We'll let y'all protest and shit. But when you start burning shit in police stations and courthouses and shit like that, oh, that's how they feel. And they tight. Now, what is the goal? If we frustrated and we ready to burn shit, but ain't no education, ain't no military training, ain't no counteraction, niggas, kids out there with skateboards and shit throwing bottles. Where's the organization of the Black Panthers and the armed black military militias that's out? They not outside during this time with them. You know what I mean? So it's like, it go back to parenting. Where are the parents of these kids? And why? Because even when you looked on it, if you looked on the news broadcast and they kept saying like, where are the pastors, like, where are the parents? Where are the parents? And people could get mad at me today, but at the end of the day, I'm asking. We sitting around and we thinking this shit lit. This shit ain't lit. We already broke the fuck down. And I keep telling y'all, do anybody fucking listen in America, bro? If they listen, martial law, let's talk law. Martial law, by law, can be called by a governor of each state, right? Meaning, by law, they don't have to say anything. Like yesterday, they entered a first phase of martial law. That I told you, anybody that watched me, I told you that they was gonna put that city on curfew. They didn't say it's martial law, but because they don't have to. Only thing they have to do, the governor has to call state of emergency, and the governor lets the police stations and the National Guard, and they let them know. Only reason why we didn't see no violence because the governor, the mayor, that white dude, he was like, don't touch him. But how long he about to get pushed out of office. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that supremacy, this right here, we going into some supremacy shit. And right now, we ain't got enough weapons and we ain't got it, yo. This ain't the way to go about it. Like, it's the anger 100. And I'm not mad at the protesting, but if we gonna go, we definitely gonna have to do this differently because it's a lot of bold action and lack of understanding and studying. Like, first of all, we out there and, okay, the cops, let's say this, they finally arrested the cop, but they're gonna have to arrest all the rest of them cops. But just because they're arrested don't mean we're gonna get the conviction. Now, I personally think in this case, it's gonna be a conviction, but we don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's intentional. They could have arrested them cops that night. They set back. Day 2, they burned the city down. They set back. Day 3, they burned it. Then they basically say on day 3, like, yeah, we're gonna arrest the guy. Like, this is some intentional shit. You never thought that during the pandemic, like, you know how they fighting back? Yo, they like, motherfuckers is sick and infected in New York, LA, California, Minnesota, all these places, right? So they all rioting. You notice the police really been keeping like social distancing from the crowds. If you really pay attention, it's not just that they don't want to do nothing, but they like, yo, if you look at the police are standing like 9 feet from the crowds. So after everybody go home, how much virus did niggas just take back home to their kids and their grandmothers and shit? Right? Because remember, this is the invisible enemy. So they done struck us up and got us mad and got us outside thousands of deep when we already dying at high rates from this shit because we can't afford the health care. And we standing outside protesting with bottles and rocks. Right? And niggas is tight together, shoulder to shoulder, like it ain't gonna be a repercussion. Because they already know that there's a silent enemy out there called the corona and the bonoma virus that is killing niggas. So that's another reason that was bothering me last night. Is that where we at today? Like, is that where we truly at today? So remember, Trump said we got a silent war. And so when originally they said it was going to be 500,000 deaths, right before they lifted the restriction, they said it's 100,000 deaths. They're under their mark for, what do they think about it? What they wanted 500,000 deaths. They hit 100,000 and they wasn't, okay, open the beaches back up. What type of stupid shit is that? And we not smart enough to see that they need more deaths? So what do? You do things in the black community that frustrate them, and you frustrate the black community during the pandemic while this shit, because it's airborne. These fucking masks don't do anything, really. And what do you think about the strategic planning, how they manipulating our people, and how ignorant we are looking at this situation? In the middle of the lockdown, only 100,000 dead after they projected 500,000. They open the beaches, they open the jobs. They don't give a fuck about you. After they open the beaches and then they open the jobs, what happens next? Then they start doing little shit because they already had killed old boy. Then, like, right now, it's like we got time to sit home. So since all of us are sitting home in America, we're able to really pay attention to what's really happening. We've been watching it, but we was at work or we was caught up. Kids in school, we never had a chance to sit down. At the end of the day, while we protesting, the silent enemy is catching bodies. And niggas saying it's fake. When we gathered up because we frustrated, but we're ignoring the what's going on in America, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, we frustrated, but are we that easily manipulated, right? Because I understand why Minnesota and them mad. I understand why LA, New York, I understand why everybody mad. And do not get me wrong. Yo, stand up. But at this point, when we talking stand up, if right now, if we burn 25 states down in the next week, all right, so what we gonna do? Because my last time, I be walking around, I know I'm from Jersey, from Carolina. I don't see niggas with land like that. Who got the land that's gonna grow this food to feed the community? What black people done put their money together since like we rioting, right? But we getting all this money from the government, right? But tell me what group of black people done got together and took all their money and bought a well or bought 1,000 acres to grow food. Cause when you don't think that they'll just cut us the fuck off? You don't think it. Like, think about it. You don't think that in the middle, if we burn down all these cities right now, there's no leadership. There's no leadership in the front. Now, we do understand that leadership has hurt us because they end up selling us out in times, but there has to be something to go for. There has to be something to go for. Just letting our kids go outside, because it's kids outside. And then when the military and the snipers start shooting them in their fucking head, then everybody, all the parents in the inner city is gonna be mad they killing our kids. Well, go out either, if you ain't gonna stand on the front line with your son and your daughter, they ass shouldn't be outside. You know what I'm saying? They should not be outside. Hey, ma, they should not be outside. At the end of the day, like, it's some real shit going on. I fuck America. But our health, my family in Jersey, in New York, and if everybody ganging up doing that shit, we taking that shit. Like, think about it. I told my nigga Rick this morning, we don't even know what the fuck they shooting into the crowds, bro. Think about what I'm saying to you. We protesting 1,000 deep. They could be shooting chemical warfare on us in the crowds. Coronavirus and shit in the can. You know that most of the time we'll get the crowds. Like, if you could just shoot this shit in the crowds with the tear gas, kids going home, motherfuckers waking up sick, taking it back to their families. You don't think so? They just, like, ever since when do a police station just let you take some shit? I told y'all yesterday, we about to see the bloodiest days in America. And they already irritated with our youth. Because our youth don't want to listen. Which is understandable. Fuck shit, they listen. But at the same time, America has to deal with our youth because America stopped us from being parents as well. There's a lot of, when I was growing up, our parents could still have somewhat of being parents. They could whoop our ass, smack our ass. If we got smart with the neighbors, I don't care if I was in Carolina or Jersey. If my mother, my father, or anybody, adult in my family heard me disrespect the neighbor, I got the shit smacked out of me. Today, if a kid do some shit, jump on my car and I say something, his parents get mad. I'm gonna have to smack the shit out their parents. Right? So since America didn't want to allow us to raise our fucking kids, now you deal with them. That's what's going on. I ain't mad at the youth. I'm proud of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm proud of them. But that tells me that our youth is soldiers. Look at any cities, look at how they killing each other. Look at Jersey, look at New York, look at Carolina, look at LA, look how gangster our youth is. When the G's gonna turn the youth to the right energy? The youth ready. The youth ready. I don't knock the youth, but the youth need the nigga. They need the 30-year-olds to be on the front lines and the 40-year-olds and the 50-years. But we supposed to be in front of them because they the future. Our kids is on the front line out there bucking, and they don't really take structure, but they need structure in this situation. Malcolm is rolling in his grave right now. Not because they're rioting, but because we didn't listen. We felt however we felt about religion, regardless of how you feel about the prophet Elijah, and we didn't listen. We did not listen. Regardless of what you felt about Christianity, you didn't listen. At the end of the day, a people have to be united in order for this to work. We can't take something over, and then if we took over New York and New Jersey, we can't police ourselves right now. We can't feed ourselves. Because we do call the police to come and stop shit from happening when we scared, and then we also blame them when they go too far. It's not making an excuse for them, but we have to be honest here. You get what I'm saying? If we want peace, then we definitely have to have military. Like, I agree. Marcus Garvey always said that our people need a military. We are arguing, we are frustrated, but they have a military. The police is a military. They're military. So I bring this up because as I'm watching, it's like, yo, do we notice that they're doing nothing? They're standing back. They letting us, they know, like, you know, to them, they said black America is the most sick population in America with the virus going around. And we clicking up and we frustrated. And it ain't just black people outside, it's white boys outside and white girls outside. But then let's talk on a deeper level. Let me put that to the side. So they also using us too. So you didn't see all them different states like Minneapolis and Atlanta. It was these white boys walking around with their face wrapped up in turbans, right? And it was like these, they weren't even from, like, they might not even, you could be riding in New York, New Jersey, and Minneapolis, and they're not even, and we're out there protesting, and it's these people that show up with their face covered, right? And they throw Molly cocktails in the buildings and set them on fire. So we out there protesting, and they using our energy to do negative shit. It was a dude yesterday and a dude the day before that. They in the middle of protesting, right? And they just standing there talking shit. And this dude come with his face covered, a white boy, he throw this Molotov at the police. And they hit their riot gear. It's motherfuckers showing up in our communities that's incinerating riots and trying to get it to go left. Right, KKK shit. It's people that don't give a fuck about us who out there marching that just showing up just to set it off, and as soon as niggas start shooting, they gonna run and disappear, get in their car and go drive back to where they come from. This is why we can't do it. I done seen that shit. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Have any of y'all seen them videos where you see these people, these white people with their face bandaged the fuck up, and then they going out there and they causing all of these problems? So while we out there protesting, a lot of the shit we see on TV that's gangster now, that's the militia groups. And then at the same time, yeah, we'll go in the store, we'll burn some stores down. But when we gonna realize that the store owners in these communities could send their own kids out there and set their own buildings on fire and get insurance for these buildings? It's the bag here. It's about money. This ain't about nothing else. It's all about money. That's why we gotta be more strategic. You know what I'm saying? That's why. The closest to military we had was Marcus Garvey, and then we had the Nation of Islam. The Nation got a military. Regardless of what you think about the Nation, y'all frustrated? Go to the Nation and demand shit. I'm telling y'all, there's no nation. Listen, like Malcolm said, I'm not talking religion completely, but y'all need to understand what I'm telling you. The only military we have on American soil is the Nation of Islam. Hear me out. I don't care if you Christian. I don't care if you Buddha. I don't care what you represent. Listen to what I'm telling you. The only military we have in America is the Nation of Islam. That's the reason why during Malcolm and them time they signed all them treaties, because they knew that the nation, yo, niggas you don't hardly ever see them killing the nation, brothers. This is what Malcolm was establishing at his time. If you on the front, you remember in the Malcolm X movie there, Malcolm Time, the way that Malcolm handled this was, when this shit happened, the Muslims go do this shit right. Have Farrakhan and them niggas go show up. They militant as shit. They militant as shit. Go stand behind them niggas. Because they not touching them. You can't even look at Farrakhan wrong. Give a fuck what you think about it. Just one example. Malcolm went out there and this same situation happened in the 60s. Malcolm and the nation and a whole bunch of black men. Black men show force. I'm with it. Give me, Farrakhan hit me directly and say, gather your people. We're going to go stand outside. We're going to get all the strong black brothers. We're going to go march down. I'm with it. I'm with it. Because at the end of the day, we seen how it get down. And that's the true fear. Black men are getting assaulted. Black men need to stand up. You know what I'm saying? Not our kids. But I respect our kids. I'm not saying we need their help too, because I'm not just calling them kids, they're young adults. But they went out there, they stood in front of that precinct, and they demanded shit. And they demanded shit. And they stood there, and that's when they said, yo, that's too much power. That's the first day, in my opinion, when they started really going after Malcolm because of how he organized it. Right now, that's what you do. That's just one solution. I'm not telling you, I'm just giving you, that's an example of using what we have as resources to move forward, right? Now, if not that, then we got to ask ourselves, why are the police so calm right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, even last night, the National Guard was there, but any other time the National Guard show up, the National Guard usually like, you going home or we shooting you. You know what I'm saying? But apparently that governor he told the National Guard not to shoot. But understand, they went under curfew yesterday night and tonight. Tonight, I believe they're gonna be a lot more strict. LA, when they start doing curfews, these are small signs of martial law. And really, I don't think the country really wants to go completely into martial law, because the wealthy, they're not ready to give up the money yet. You feel me? The wealthy, in some sense, the wealthy want the public to go back to work. The wealthy don't like that the people are sitting at home and educating themselves and got a chance actually thinking about trying to start their own businesses. They need niggas and they workers and they crops and they property back on the goddamn front lines, working the machines and laboring and slaving. You know what I'm saying? You said it's a media, Jerry, yeah, you said it's a media propaganda. Exactly. At the end of the day, we frustrated, and while we frustrated, there's militia groups and there's people showing up that's not even of our nationality, who's showing up, and then they causing a lot of chaos. And then when this shit happen, they not saying the militia groups, they gonna say, oh, Ferguson, Minneapolis, New Jersey, they gonna say the city. When the city isn't responsible for this shit. And that's the thing that made me mad. So when I talk to everybody, I always say, what do you want out of this? Because I don't think, what are we thinking about? We can't burn down New Jersey and 2 weeks from now think that, oh, what, we just gonna get up and say, okay, well, we made our point and we just gonna go back to work and our kids just gonna go back to school and we gonna do this. No, nigga. No. If we ain't ready to fight this war right now, then stop what you doing. If us as a whole ain't ready to die for this shit as a whole, right? That means if right now, every person, not just black people, all the people that feel like this shit is unfair, are we ready to die today? Like when niggas be in prison in gangs and niggas say like, yo, fuck that. We gonna die today. Are we there spiritually? Because if that's where we at, all right. But are we all unitedly gonna say, we gonna die today? Because it's either death or freedom. Are we there? And if we not there, then stop. Then stop. You know what I'm saying? And I say this because at the end of the day, when we go about this and we protest, it always has to be a reason. Now we can do all of this, but what is the demand? There should have been a demand on the table. We want A, B, C, and D. If not, we gonna burn this bitch down. Oh no, burn this city. Oh no, burn this city. But it has to be strategic. Because if one city or if 3 cities burn down their cities, then all the rest of the surrounding police stations can just jump them. And they're gonna exterminate them. But if all the cities at one time do this, then there's a better chance because everybody's so occupied. See, that's the point of military strategy that they understand, that they say that we don't understand as people. You get what I'm saying? We really, truly don't understand that aspect. And then when we go to it, right? I'm watching when they broke into the CNN station yesterday. And when they broke into it, I was thinking, I seen like it was a white boy. Like they was like, you got to think about it. Like they standing far back. They putting so many beams. They put so many beams on the kid's head last night. It looked like a rap video. You know what I'm saying? And the white kids showing their ass that don't like this shit was stepping up like, white boy stepped up with a skateboard like, shoot me, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that was dope. But at the same time, the white boy hurt himself and then the black kids wrapped his hand, right? And then he kept trying to break the window. And they were sitting there and it was like, I kept thinking like, yo, I've never seen the police in any time in the last, probably since slavery, yo, allow the public to do it. And we don't even realize that the police probably the police station probably was 50 years old. They about to get a check and build a police station 2 times as big. They just destroyed all of them precincts. And what do you think happens? What happens next is the police, if the police can't do their job, then the military take over. And it's not the military from your state. So this is going to be the president. And they not sending, bro. Understand, if they come to New York and New Jersey, they not sending your cousin none of them soldiers that's showing up from your city or your state. None of your family members, and more than likely, they're gonna handpick a whole bunch of soldiers from fucking Idaho and Oregon and back of Salt Lake City some fucking where. And these is the 500 guards they're gonna send to you. See, y'all don't understand. A lot of people like they're not gonna in the King Alfred plan that I was telling y'all yesterday when they were talking about the real martial law, they explained exactly how they was going to do everything that they did. You know what I'm saying? And they said that after the attack started, a 12-hour plan to exterminate everybody. They stated that for the fact of the matter that they know for a fact that black people don't work together and don't have the education to strategize like how we used to. See, we gotta understand, the whole warfare that they use on us today, they learn from us. You know what I'm saying? The multiple warfares, like we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Let me read how everybody else feel. It says, and they don't realize taxes is going up and they are paying for it all. Hell yeah, taxes going up. When the food, you ain't noticed lately that the taxes going up on the food and everything? We burnt down a police station just so they gonna build one 3 times as big. You feel me? Like they let them, like while all this shit going on, they cashing out. You know what I'm saying? It said that's an opportunity for them to claim evidence that was lost to damage the right fact. So you burn a police station that killed, bro, and all of the evidence is in that police station. Yo, Keita, I told you I fuck with you, Keita. You be on point. All the evidence, she said all the evidence is also, and not saying it is, but think about it. They can say, well, all the evidence from the case and the video cameras and the body cam footage was in the courthouse. The ones that ain't went viral, you know what I'm saying? And we not even thinking about that shit. And you know, bro was really, that shit was foul. It really was. Like, I'm not, and that's why I say I want to be clear, because a lot of people, I don't want nobody to think like I'm knocking our people, but I'm just saying like, yo, can somebody please tell me, after we burn these cities down, do y'all really think we just gonna get up and go to work and go back to playing fucking video games? And our kids just gonna go back to school and we gonna go back to our rap videos and we gonna go back to the club? Hell no. Hell no. So we not gonna see it. Right now, we hype, they getting a lot of views, but they gotta deal with this shit. When the smoke clears, when all the buildings stop burning and the city left there, they gonna realize that they don't have nowhere to shop. Like, not even that's that important, but they don't have nowhere to go. They burning down shit. They burning down shit. You say, hell no, they don't have a plan. So if they don't have a plan, then that means that we're gonna go crazy and then they're gonna activate martial law. And so y'all know about the concentration camps in LA, right? And y'all know about the concentration camps in New York, and y'all know about the concentration camps in South Carolina. Y'all do know about this shit, right? All they need is a reason, is my point. We did such a good job as a people with all of this shit in the last couple years that was going on with the Mike Brown and all of this shit, because I was so proud that they really wanted the way we acted now. They was hoping that we acted like that off Trayvon and off Mike Brown, but we had a little bit more resolve, like as if like we knew, you know what I'm saying? We knew that they was trying to do some shit because it was too obvious of the killing. You know what I'm saying? It was too obvious. But right now, we frustrated. We sitting at home. You know what I'm saying? Niggas mad. Niggas ain't got jobs. So we taking our frustration out from what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Let me read this. And it says the police was on it. And the police kicked it off from what I read. He broke the first window and then they blamed it on the protesters. They said that I think they shot something. They shot something at it and it bust the window. But that's what was happening the whole time in this situation. It says it's not really us this time. It isn't. That's my point. We gather and we go to march peacefully. And we get 1,000 deep, which is not social distancing. And then while we walking down the street, Black Lives Matter, and then people just popping up niggas walking out of alleyways. And then we walking, nigga hit a Molotov cocktail, burn this building down. And then they walk and another nigga do that. And so when the windows break and they see 5 motherfuckers go inside, everybody gonna start going inside. You said a goal without a plan is irrelevant. A goal without demands. If you gonna rob a bank and you gonna hold hostages, but you ain't got no demands and no plan, this shit not gonna go down the way you think. Right? That's all I'm saying, yo. Like, I don't know. Like, it just made me mad. Like, and I woke up this morning and like, my homegirl hit me and she was like, she wasn't feeling. She was like, yo, I'm mad. I'm like, why you mad? And she hit me back. She was like, cause I don't feel like the youth is really thinking right now. And I had to be real. And that's when I started being like, yo, she right. You know what I'm saying? She right as a motherfucker, because we just out here running and jumping and acting stupid. Just to act stupid. And forgive me, that was the wrong expression. More so like just out here acting dumb we acting out of anger. But anger with no reasoning is bad. So that's all I'm saying. Maybe we can get to a point where somebody, like, you know, let me tell you what they said on the news last night on CNN that was true. CNN said the protest isn't the problem. But the people on CNN was like, but where are why didn't the governors or the mayor or the police, why did they just let them? Why did they just let them? Because if they want you burn out police stations and shit, you kind of just okayed them to go ham. But they're letting them do it because they need to make an example out of these niggas. So this is why, let me tell you, they let them do this. So day 1, day 2, day 3, now they got a reason. They broadcast to the world. And so they're broadcasting to the people that think like them and that mindset of supremacy. Look at these niggas. They're going to destroy this city. And if we don't do something about it, we're going to lose control of this white supremacy on the continent of America. My only problem is, at the end of the day, is the niggas outside really willing to die? Right now. And how long are we gonna let our kids go out on the front line and not do nothing? You feel me? And some people could be like, yo, bro, I'm surprised you ain't on the front line. As we get older, I started to realize that this shit gotta be done right. And it gotta be perfect. Like, you gotta think, like, what is it, Haiti? During the time when everything was getting colonized, Haiti, or the Haitians, which they called the Maroon colonies, the Moorish colonies, freed themselves. Why? Because they told them to let go of your European gods and liberate yourself. And they was willing to die that day. And they got rid of every person on that continent that didn't mean no well. But at the same time, they were united. They was one. I don't see no black leaders from LA and New York and them sitting down together. They're using the means of a surprise attack, but these kids are not armed. You know what I'm saying? It's the dumbest world in the world. Let me give you an example of what could happen. When we was kids in China, something like this happened, kind of. And it wasn't the poor who protested, right? And if anybody older than me would know, because my mother always told me about this, it was like the college kids, the kids that was about to be doctors, lawyers, scientists, like the prominent youth of like if it was America, it would have been the kids from Carolina, Duke, Yale, Princeton, all of that shit. And they was out there protesting in China. We want more rights. We want more rights. They ran these niggas over with army tanks on national television. That's the type of shit that can come out of this. Because China figured we're going to send our kids. And they sent their kids. And their kids protested on national television. Look this shit up. And they ran all of these. This was their next class of leaders. They ran these niggas over with army tanks on national television. And the world felt sorry for them. But nobody did nothing. The same Communist Party still in power today. So I think that they wanted people to get together in big groups. I think they wanted people to protest. Because think about it, all them companies that they just burnt up was about if they didn't, listen, you want to hurt Macy's, Target, the mall, stop shopping. You ain't got to burn it down. The shit gonna be empty. Because if you want to King and them did not burn the buses. Because you did not cripple them financially. You gave them the bag. If I burn all the buses in fucking Raleigh, they gonna get 3 times what every bus is worth in insurance. And they gonna get better buses. If we want to do this shit, stop shopping. We can loot Target, but they're going to get insurance from all of the stealing. We burned the Target down, and they just going to get the money for it. Like, we didn't do anything. Right now, we're in the middle of a pandemic, right? So if all this money they're giving us, hold it. Hold it. Don't nobody pay no fucking rent. Everybody right now, get your money. Don't nobody pay no rent. Don't nobody spend $1 except for food. Don't nobody spend $1 on that shit. On no clothing, no shopping, none of these stores. Don't go outside. In 90 days, Walmart, Macy's, Target, all that shit gonna collapse. That's the plan. That's how you do some shit. We know better. Ain't gonna do it. America is a capitalistic society. Capitalism, financial. Take the money. We can do just as much damage if we just don't shop. Don't burn the Targets down. Don't shop there. Don't shop at Walmart. Don't shop. Simple. We'll do more damage by taking their money from them. That's what Malcolm and them was on. We gonna take their money from them. They don't want niggas sent on the bus. Niggas gonna stop riding buses. The cops keep killing niggas, then we stop calling the police. And not only do we stop calling the police, but we barricade and we police our own communities and we don't allow them in. Like on some Black Panther shit. And if they force their way in like they in, you go to war with them. But if that's not what we on, it ain't gonna work. Now, I think, in my opinion, LA is one of them cities that should be prepared they're a lot more prepared. Like them niggas in LA, they ready to die. So that's the difference. We look around, and I notice on Facebook, we look around and say, damn, I ain't know Minneapolis was lit. I didn't know niggas was lit. I wish our people was like that. Listen, every city got an energy. That's why it's not accidental that LA, these places the ground has energy. Right? So in LA ain't they not just wild for no reason. Do your history. California was Queen Khalifa's territory. And they were that's the last area of America that they colonized. And it was mostly women warriors who took that shit and was fighting like hell. They are the descendants of warriors. That's why you can't control them. Not only that, but LA is also a lot of people from the islands and a lot of foreigners live in LA. So these are Belizeans who police themselves. Most of the gangs is mixed with other nationalities. A lot of blood sets is Belizeans. A lot of gang Crip sets is Belizeans and Jamaicans and Haitians. These motherfuckers that they with this shit. They not gonna they killing niggas in Florida, but they ain't gonna do but so much because they know how them Haitians give it up. They know how them Haitians give it up. If we gonna get on some shit, then we gotta get on some sick shit. That's all I'm saying. If that's what we on, the first thing we need to do, we got to make sure that the black community got guns to protect the household. We can't go riot and then go start fires and shit and not think that there's a possible chance that there could be a retaliation that could come back into our communities. And a lot of our black women ain't got pistols. And a lot of the kids, we ain't been out there taking our kids in the wood to shoot guns. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And we not thinking. It's easy to hurt black people. All I would do is sit back and let you riot. And as soon as winter hit, I'm taxing niggas. Think about what I'm saying to y'all. As long as it's warm, y'all got it. But black man's and black woman's weakness is the cold air. Why you think slavery lasted so long? We got to realize that slavery lasted so long because we could rebel. But when winter came, what the fuck was we gonna do? We don't fuck with the cold weather. So right now, when it becomes winter, what happens when wintertime hit and they say we not feeding the grocery store shut down, everything stopped working. No more food, fend for yourself. Like I said, show me the black group of people that's taking their money that bought land. Who said we gonna do this, but we gonna start growing food so we can feed our people. Show me the black groups who bought a well so that we got water. Show me the black group who got the clothing. Thank you. Show me. Because if we out here and we riding and we doing this, and we ain't got no plan B and C and D and E, like everybody not gangsters. So we gotta have that section of niggas who with the shit. And then we got to have the people that organize. And then we got to have the people that's politically competent who can take our problems in the political arena and address this shit. You feel me? And this is the reason why I say that we have to look at this shit from a very, very fair perspective. Where we sit in the day, where do we sit as a people? Before we go out, are we ready to sit down? Are we ready to have a congregation? You know, it takes a special soul type nigga who gonna put his life on the line to lead these people. And the problem is this. Who said it the best? I can't remember what leader it was. The problem with our people, we waiting for somebody to save us or waiting for somebody to stand up in front of us. See, the youth though, I give them credit. They like, fuck it. The youth ain't waiting for Jesus. The youth ain't waiting for Allah and Buddha. They tired, yo. And I feel them on that shit. It's a lot of shit about the youth that I admire. But it's a lot of shit about the youth that at some point, our generation, not our parents, our generation, the 30, 40-year-olds, this our problem. It's our problem. Why? Because our parents' fought. Our parents and our generation was stuck in the middle of thinking that we was equal and shit. The kids like, fuck this shit because they whole existence in the last 14, 15 years been getting shot. I feel like the kids feel like they in Jim Crow because they was born into this shit and they tired. We was born when we seen a lot of this other shit. Where we gonna plan? What's the plan? So let me ask a question. I'll be going live. Anybody want to come on and have something to say? Because I always say I would love to see who else. Let me see who up here right now. Do anybody who on right now actually want to say anything? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. It said at the bottom. It says we was like that when we was young. We were. We had a lot more. We had a lot more restrictions than parents. You know what I'm saying? Like our parents weren't just gonna let us do it, but I just only say he said, what about the crack babies? Fact though. So our generation was crack. I get your point. So our generation was crack baby. Crack and the drugs was such a crazy factor in our time, but it is too in theirs, yo. You know what I'm saying? They still got what's going on. It says my wife may join. She says she gotta wash her face first. So look. Do y'all feel that this is right? That's the first thing. Do everybody that's online right now, do you agree with how we handling this? And before I go forward, I just want to see what y'all say. How do y'all feel, outside of what I'm saying, how do y'all feel about what's going on in America? Do y'all feel that the youth is going too far? Or not the youth, do you feel like we're doing too much without a plan? Do you feel like they doing the right thing? Do you feel like we being manipulated? Just like we in the middle of a pandemic. I know damn well niggas don't want to go back to work when they getting unemployment checks and shit and they getting all this money. You can't convince me that people just want to go to work that bad. When I see people walking downtown with their guns and let's go to work, these the business owners and the wealthy motherfuckers that need their slaves back at work. That's what I saw. Not the poor, not the people that don't get to be at home with their children. Like, it's the first time in 100 years that we got to sit at home with our family and actually see our mother, and our mothers got a chance to see what's going on. Our fathers, our whoever, our brothers and sisters. Right now we in a state of we're dealing with something that we haven't been able to do in a long time spiritually. Which now, since we sitting around each other because it's a lack of jobs and shit, now we got to deal with each other. It's all a distraction, bro. It's all a distraction. But the biggest part that I made earlier was, with all of this going on, we still forgetting about the silent war. So I get, and I'm about to tune out. But remember, everybody outside protesting out of anger. And we don't know that the cops ain't fucking with people. They tear gassing, probably throwing coronavirus on the crowds. You feel me? Take that shit back to your family. We need 400,000 more niggas dead. They open up beaches. And then they start right when they open the country, they really gonna start, they gonna do this shit like in the middle of a pandemic. And let me show y'all something that bothered me. Yo, y'all remember the cop, right? I was telling my nigga Rick this morning, when he was on, bruh, he had his knee on him, but y'all didn't see him have his pants in his pocket grabbing his nuts. That's some supremacy shit. Think about what I'm telling you. Go back and look at the videotape. Look, he was sitting on bruh like this, and look at his hands. He had his hands on his nuts like this. He was looking at the crowd. This like, obey your master, nigga. This how he was sitting. Hands in his pockets, holding his nuts. This is some old Masonic shit. Some old justice. He was standing over top of him with two other officers with his hands in his pockets. Meaning, if you know what I know, if I'm standing on top of a nigga and I put my hands in my pocket and I push down, I'm putting all of my body weight on this nigga. Obey your master. That's what that shit was about. It's intimidation. Let me tell you why they doing this shit, to be clear. It's to intimidate the black man. They see how the black man is shooting each other in their own communities, and they like, fuck that. Intimidate the black man. If we intimidate, that's been the plan the whole time. Intimidate the black man, beat him. It's the same thing. If we was in slavery, only it wouldn't have been like that. They would have just hung his ass in front of the crew, or they would have tarred and feathered him and shit and cut his nuts off and shit like that. It's the same shit going on. So all these other months, through all this time in the last, 5, 10 years, there's a lot of niggas that's been going live, like me, and been talking this shit, and nobody wanted to listen, right? And I'm not throwing it in your face. I'm saying that nobody want to listen until the shit right in your face. But it's too late. You know what I'm saying? We 25 years behind in our revolution. You know what I'm saying? I see kids outside with rocks and bottles, but the police got guns. I see we outside, everybody else sitting in the motherfucking house trying to figure out why is this going on. You know what I'm saying? So I try to bring anybody. I see a lot of people. I noticed that too online. That a lot of people rather watch than talk. So it says all of the above. They are doing too much ever, and we don't know what goes on in their community. Niggas are not riding for no reason, right? It's not a no reason, and you're right. It's definitely not no reason. Hold on, I'm about to bring my best. It's definitely not no reason. They got it right. And I'm not saying I'm right about everything. I'm just honest enough, open all to give you my mind. What up, Ben?
What's up, man?
How you feel?
I'm alive.
Word. How you feel about what's going on?
Basement.
You in the basement?
I said clean the grandma basement, yeah. I don't think it's too much, if that's what you asking.
Okay. And I respect, I don't think, right?
What's next?
And explain why.
Because what we not doing is we not doing a lot of the shit that was done back then. We could riot, we angry. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We mad as fuck. Let's riot. Let's march. Let's protest. But what's next? They still buying from these businesses.
Right.
They still getting on these buses. You still buying their clothes, their food. You still doing so much that put money in this white man pocket. You not buying black. You not boycotting. Y'all, we not doing none. If we want to hit them with
Hey, pocket. No, I think she froze for a second. But now I agree until she come back in. I agree. Like when I ask, when I'm saying what I'm saying until she come back on, I'm not offended if somebody get up here and tell me like they don't agree with me. You feel me? So I that's from my hometown. I feel like she made a good point. Like it's not too much because hold on one second. It's not too much because they're frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring you back in a second, Macho. It's not too much because they're frustrated. It's not. You know what I'm saying? What up, bro?
Hey, you saying some real stuff though, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, what is the end game? And like the lady just said before, you know what I'm saying, we are angry. It's been times, you know what I'm saying, how the white folks or even but I can't even point out the white folks because like you said, the white folks actually stood up this time. I ain't never seen so many everybody come together for this because it was blatant in their face. Like, it's no way you could turn your head to this shit. If you do, you just a straight up racist. You know what I'm saying? Or coon. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some black folks out there like, oh, he shouldn't have resisted all that. He didn't do all that
He
shit.
didn't do nothing.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we are mad.
Right.
We are mad. We're tired of the shit. You know what I'm saying? We but at the same time, we have to have an end game. If we're doing all this shit, it's for nothing. Because, like you said, typically statistics say 3 days. 3 days after it's the average time after an episode of something. You know what I'm saying? Raleigh, the police, you know, when that police shot that boy, about 3 days, they were outraged. After that shit, you don't hear shit about it. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember how many years ago it was, old dude in Durham. A boy got in a police car, handcuffed, but ended up shot. 3 days outraged, we didn't hear shit else about it. You know what I'm saying? That's statistics, that's the average. You know what I'm saying? So if we do this after the media cameras stop rolling, you know what I'm saying? What are we going to do?
And not
We
only
are we
that,
going
bro, when we do that and then CNN and them show up, they make 30 million in a night off of the coverage. This while we're doing this, they're making money when they broadcasting this shit.
I ain't think about that.
Hold on. Bring Macho back in. Because I know they cut her off for a second. So I'm gonna bring her back in, let her finish what she was saying. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just basically saying, like, because rioting not enough, though. Best, like, it's not enough. It's not going to get us nothing. Just like he was saying, after 3, 4 days, a week down the line, like, he just become another black man dead, another number dead, that we done checked on the fucking list that we was so angry about, but then we forget. They not our family. They not in our city. They not close to us. I feel like if
Thanks.
every urban community and every fucking city and state in America, if we boycotted and rioted and did shit the same, and I don't mean our neighborhoods, I
You
mean
saying in
they
general.
shit.
Right,
Go in they
right,
shit.
right. Go in their
Make noise
neighborhood.
in they motherfucking neighborhood because that's what's gonna make them listen. They not listening to us fucking up our shit. Where we gonna shop at? And they
They
shit
don't
now?
shop with us. They don't live with us.
Hell no, they don't
They
shop with
they,
us.
they don't even
They
they
food, they clothes is more quality. It's better than ours. Why the fuck would
a
they
lot of
shop
times
with
they
us?
live in communities where their stores is on the bottom and they live on top. When black people get killed, they
Absolutely.
don't see it. And that's why when you came in and said you don't think it's too much, I agree. And let me say this, Macha. I know
I
you know
don't.
me since we was kids, right?
Hmm.
And I'm very strong-minded, but I don't mind. It's just my opinion and how I feel. So like when you if not if I feel like you challenge me, I respect it because it's not about what I think.
Because I agree with you.
What everybody thinks.
It's right. It's a
If we
mass
put our
thing.
brains together collectively, you may
Right.
be wrong. I may be right. He may be right. I may be
Right.
able to tell you to do it different. You may be able to give me insight to do it differently. Our
Right.
problem is we don't got no structure. We don't got no unity. We don't have none of that.
Right. And then at the
I'm
same
none of
time,
it.
see you still in being in a city is different from being everywhere else. So even though things is hard where I'm at in the South, it's not the same reality as what you're going through in Jersey City.
It's
It's a
not.
lot worse. And so
Way
speak
different.
on that, because people don't really understand why the inner city is so crazy. It's easy for me to sit out here and say da da da, but it's way different home.
It is way different here. I just wish the same motherfuckers that got the heart to get out here and shoot up the street to have the heart to stand up for what we need and what we want and what we got to have. Because very, very, very soon, we going to be them immigrants in them fucking camps. We going to be them niggas picking cotton again. Systematically, they are putting us right back where we
Into
were,
slavery.
and we're feeding into that shit because we not doing what our grandparents did. Yeah, they rioted and they did shit, but behind
Yeah.
them riots, behind all of that, they was boycotting them buses. Motherfuckers wasn't working for them. Them motherfuckers was losing so much money that they didn't have no goddamn choice but to give us what we wanted.
Fact though. Because they all about capitalists. They want us
You
back
gotta
at work
make
right now.
them give you what you want. All of this talking shit, they
ain't
don't
here.
give a fuck about that talking shit, nigga. What the president say? Looting, shooting. That nigga don't care. He
Don't give
promoting
a fuck.
all of this shit. He
Looting and
promoting
shooting.
all of this shit.
Yeah. You
You
don't think that they
crazy.
wanted this shit? They
They
know.
wanted all of it. They wanted
See,
all of it. They wanted all of it, and that's why they gave us Obama. And I
right.
try to tell that to people all the time. I'm not discrediting Obama, but he ain't do shit for the black community. He did something for LGBTQ community, and I'm not taking nothing from them or none of that.
Talk your shit,
But
Machi.
don't
Talk your shit.
listen. He didn't do shit for us, my nigga. He actually did shit to counter what was done for us before. Like, come on now.
A lot of
We not
the bills Obama signed were not just bills.
was
They were some of the worst signed bills against our people ever. Like even Bush
yeah,
didn't sign them damn orders.
nope. But
Nobody
they
thinks
put you,
about it.
they gave you a black face so you can say it's okay. This is the same man who signed the order saying you cannot grow your own food. You could go to jail for growing your own food. I mandate what you put in your body. The fucking what you call them, USDA, whatever,
Yeah.
whoever the fuck they is,
Who
they
they
monitor
crooks.
and whatever goes in your body is them. All the HMOs in your food, the pesticides and all of that shit. They stopping.
Right.
That shit is chemicals to kill our brains. That shit is fucking with our children, giving our children autism.
I was
All
just
of
about to
these
say that.
vaccines, these prenatal pills, and all of that shit they giving these pregnant mamas, and y'all just taking it. The reason, and to touch on what you was talking about yesterday about
Deep.
women and not standing up, they afraid. They afraid because if they stand, they don't get government assistance no more.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get none of that shit. Child care, none of it. All of it is taken away. And let's just be honest. And I'm not trying to knock men, but
Nah.
let's be
Tell the truth.
honest. Y'all make it easy for us to go to the system.
Cut her off.
A
Machi, come
lot of
right
y'all
back
step
in.
away
Okay.
from us and give us no other choice. Let's be honest. I can't survive and feed my family and pay bills off the money they giving us at these jobs. I need a little bit of assistance. And if I don't got that structure in a home where I got my partner and we 50-50 in this the way it used to be, and we gonna struggle, my nigga, the way it used to
Facts.
be,
Facts.
we wouldn't have all these problems.
Facts. Because you hit everything on the money. As I would say, as I said yesterday later in the conversation, I know for a fact, just as much as I go there, being fair, I know for a fact that the same women that we could talk about that's destroying black men down, these were the same women that was riding for black men that they was getting fucked over. A lot of the girls that niggas want to talk about now, they was the most loyal, but got fucked over so much as fuck a nigga. I
That's
never gonna
true.
blame, I don't never mean to blame my sisters. I just, you know, I've always been a person, I'm gonna speak on them elephants in the room topics. I might get judged
Right,
for them, but it's shit that we
right.
gotta talk about. And I'm cool with people saying, bruh, think he died. I'm just talking to make us talk. And I expect women to stand up. And I'm
You
so
gotta
glad
you
that you
gotta have a dialogue
said
about this,
something.
because if we don't, nobody don't know what's wrong.
Right.
Nobody
But
don't know what's missing if you don't have a dialogue about shit like this.
right.
We are missing a lot, and they structured it that way. They broke the black family with the government assistance.
With the government assistance. And black
You
men
can't
didn't
even
help.
have a black man in your house if you get in government assistance.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And we
That's
didn't help.
crazy.
We didn't help as men. Because
No,
when
y'all didn't.
I can agree.
But we
When
as
black
women
women,
didn't help either. Now I'm not gonna
right.
give us a pass. We didn't help either, because if we required more, y'all would give us more. If we stop just laying down with any and everything, and we required more from you motherfuckers, y'all would give it to us. You treat a king like a king, he gonna act like one. Okay?
Facts. Facts.
Okay.
And as women, y'all got the power. Like when I got offline yesterday, a lady hit me and she said, "I love your lives," and she was like, "I want you to keep doing it." And I told her, "You a woman. You a black woman. If you sanction it, it will be. That's your power. If I don't care how strong, we know deep down inside that women, especially black women, run the world. The structure of working, it's our women getting up going to work. Why does the black family still survive today in slavery? Because of y'all. We wouldn't have made it on our own ignorant, egotistical. We would have been fighting a long time ago. But
Slavery
that's what I
ruled
say.
y'all too. Slavery made a lot of y'all soft too. The woman.
Hell yeah.
Yes, it
Hell
did. The
yeah.
woman
Hell yeah.
protecting her young, protecting her son. Yeah, we made a lot of our women strong, and we dociled a lot of our men. And we need to get that back. That warrior spirit in that man, we need to get that back. The man that's not going to walk down the street and see nothing happening wrong to his sister, and not no blood relation, but just from skin color, and check that shit. You don't even got niggas doing that shit no more.
Man, listen,
It
I done been
boggles
outside
me.
with girls
It
be
boggles
getting knocked the
me
fuck out and niggas
how
be standing there.
nobody else died on the street that day. I would have been dead because I would not have stood there and watched that knee and that man neck. I would not have been able to watch him die, bruh. Watching a
Right?
video hurt me. That shit
That's what
hurt
I
me.
said
Talking about
yesterday.
it hurt me.
It's our
I
problem.
wouldn't. I
If
would
we
have been
stand
dead
there,
because there's no way. I wasn't raised like that. I wouldn't have watched them kill that man. You
that's what
crazy?
I said yesterday, Macha. I was saying that's why it makes us sick. So it's 30 people outside and they on his neck. Where's the real nigga? See me, because that's how I know. I think my mom, people know that I'm emotionally vulnerable to get killed, because I personally would have
I think
ran
that's
and
why
pushed
God
them like,
don't
get the
put
fuck
certain
off of
people
me.
in certain situations, because it's no way I would have let that happen.
Nah, like, and if white people really want to help, why didn't they run in front of the cop? If a white person run and push a cop, they're not gonna shoot him.
They
Nobody.
not.
If they would have, it's 4 cops, it's 20 people. If they would have ran and pushed them, we got to get on a mentality where, like Hunger Games, it's only but so many bullets and guns. They're gonna get how many shots off? We already dying on the block, right, for drugs, right? So when, like
He
you said,
wanted
when
that
the
man
gangsters
dead.
going to
He knew
handle this
that man
problem?
for 17 years. You worked with this man. You was his
Listen,
co-worker for 17 years, and you killed this man. How
you know
long
why?
have you been wanting to do that?
You know why? I figured it out last night. Last night, remember when they said the conviction, when they said that they was arresting him? His wife is a white woman. That's your answer. They knew each other for 17 years. Minneapolis is one of the most interracial cities in America.
George's wife is a white woman.
His wife is a white woman. That seemed like intent to me.
That was his death sentence.
You get what I'm saying? When they went to his wife yesterday on TV, and it was a white woman and she was crying. And I said, oh, shit. Think about it. You work with me 17 years. You really don't like niggas, and you see my white woman come up to this job. That's why I said, Macha, he was on this nigga neck like this with his hands in his pants. Like, I'm gonna kill, like.
I noticed all of that.
That shit was real, like putting all your body weight down. And that's why I say it's our fault. We stood there. And that scared me. Because that mean if one of our kids outside and we at work, you just gonna stand there? But let it be a nigga in the street from another block that do that shit. We gonna go home and we gonna strap up and we gonna go around the corner.
Gonna spin the block on them.
When we gonna start treating them niggas, they're gang, right? When we gonna start treating them like gangs, not being funny. That I don't think we're ever gonna get solutions from a peaceful thing.
They're not gangs. They're terrorists. It's a difference.
It is, because they don't belong on this soil.
It's a difference. They're terrorists.
Yeah, they terrorists. Now that's fact
War
though.
mentality. They don't got no calm, no humility in them. They just wasn't born with that type of nature. We were, and they take advantage of that. And we need to let that shit go.
That's true. We as a people, we are some of the most caring people in the world. And that's what they use against us in times of disdain. That's when they'll send a pastor or a religious leader outside after they kill somebody. He be like, don't, please, y'all, don't
I
riot.
don't fuck with none of them neither. I don't
We
want to
don't,
hear none of
our
them Martin
generation don't
Luther
believe in that
King
shit.
ass niggas. I don't want to hear none of them.
I don't hear none of that shit. Cause they ain't
I don't
about
want to
nothing.
hear it.
Right.
They
They
the ones that's like, well, he got arrested. That's the least they can do. Like, well, at least he got arrested. Don't tell me that. You here for me, fighting for me for the murder of my kid. Don't tell me at least he got arrested. No, go the fuck back out there and demand something more.
I need the death penalty.
I don't want the least.
I need the death penalty. If you wanna
I
convince
don't
me,
get the least. We
right.
don't get the least.
Hold up. Miss Carter said they're going to kill black folks because they don't give a fuck if we sit together. It said and instead of they won't and they can't fuck with us.
That's
That's
what we
kind of
need to
tasty.
do is stick together. And fuck, I'm not saying don't fight because fight, but fight, fight,
Fight with both.
fight.
Right.
We make them the most fucking money. Stop spending money with them. Stop giving these motherfuckers your money.
Facts.
Open your own businesses. Shop
Facts.
black. Come together. Buy property. Like,
Niggas getting all this money right now with, even with the unemployment and stuff. We need to be saving this money and trying it's gonna take 2 years if this go right. It'll take about 2-3 years to get back to normal.
he
But all
said
this
he was a
unemployment coming in,
plant.
all this
That's
little
why
money.
he looked at the camera like that. Who was a plant?
You talking about like one of the people that was there? He's saying like
I guess
somebody that was there at the joint.
the cop.
Yeah.
He probably was a plant.
It says we having the protest in Fayetteville today. Come
And y'all
support.
need to stay away from the media too. Stop watching that shit. Just stop watching it.
Yeah.
You
It's
want
making
to?
them
We
money.
learn everything. We learn everything from each. The greatest thing about social media is the fact that we can connect and communicate from state to state. And if
Yeah.
we use it the way that we supposed to, this would be great. We don't need the news. We have each
Right.
other to
Right.
communicate with each other what's going on here and there. Back then, they didn't have social media, but they connected.
So you know that they got Facebook right now. President Trump signed an order like a couple days ago where it was already one in place where they control what's on Facebook. Because think about it, if it weren't for these phones, they would have shot them kids. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for them phones today. But the fact that there's so many cell phones outside and everybody on their phone, that's another reason why the police might be a little timid. But if we was following, like you said, if we just was getting news reports, we wouldn't know. So just like during the Detroit riots, how the boys got killed during that time. See, we got while we outside rioting, there's KKK and groups going outside masked up with straps, killing niggas while we outside rioting.
Of course.
Then was that Louisiana Katrina? I got friends from New Orleans who was telling me in Louisiana that while they was trying to pull their mothers and them out of the house, it was white people with face covered stabbing niggas in their neck, shooting them in their head while they're trying to save people.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm dead ass. I got like 3-4 homeboys who from there that came after Katrina, and they telling me like while we trying to leave and while we rescuing people, there's like military
What's the
militia
NOI,
running around.
Malik?
The Nation of Islam.
Oh, okay.
I was saying that earlier, like we need their military. If we gonna go right, I guess you put the nation to the test. That's my opinion. I don't care what you believe, but right now, demand the nation to use their military.
Huh? It ain't about religion.
It ain't about religion.
It's about race. It's about race. It's not about religion.
Malcolm said Malcolm said before he died, he said, listen, he said, one day our people gonna realize that your religion doesn't mean anything but your moral compass to raise your family and your kids by. Because the religion gives you a structure of how to raise. But when it comes down to our people, because think about it, if me and you and 30 other black folks live in the same community, right, Macha? And we all got different religions, 10 neighbors. and a cop
Mhm.
kill one of us because of our religion, we ain't gonna never be able to come to a simple. That was the problem with the 50s and 60s. How small-minded was it when the Christians and the Muslims couldn't come accord in the 50s? But we were so divided. It's easy to say now, but
But
we were
that's
so
what they put
divided.
it there for. They
Right, in
gave us
case it ever
religion
happened.
for so many different reasons.
Yeah, that's
That's a
fact.
God book to being a slave. That Bible,
Yeah,
those books.
them books,
They
they
tell
was
you in the
all
book
made for slavery.
to listen to the laws of the land. How the fuck are y'all saying that church and state is separate, but in this book you are telling me to listen to the state?
Because the church is a state legally,
It's
and there is no real
hypocritical. That's why
separation.
you don't see the churches, because the state pays them. So they gotta shut up to keep getting
It,
that funding.
yeah,
They
that shit
gotta
called it.
shut
What
up
does it
to
say?
not pay property taxes.
It's a
They
C.
gotta
It's
shut up to
they
stay
gotta shut up.
rich.
But it's always been there since when they colonized America and enslaved us, right? It's called the Treaty of Verona. That's the legal document. And the Queen of Europe wrote to get all of the pastors in America and force them to, like, the pastors work for the Queen and the conquerors. And that's
Right.
why they send them out and they get paid. It's called a C3 agreement. The government gives them. Every member of a church, if you join the church and you're a member, they get $1,000 per person. They don't pay any taxes, and they are here to docile the community. This is why Malcolm was calling these niggas Uncle Toms.
Nah, Joseph, we not getting off topic. All of it is relevant.
All
All
of
of
it,
it
all
needs
of
to
this
be
makes
talked
one
about. All
whole.
of it is a systematic plan that they put together to kill all of us.
Right.
All of it is the same topic.
For example, in history,
Different branches on the tree, but it's the
right?
same tree.
Same tree. Just like, okay, in
Same
history,
tree.
right? When we was in school, they taught us about all them wars in 3rd through 12th grade, these different wars, the Ponta effects, right? But they never told us it was the same war that was fought through 2,000 years and enslaved Africans. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
tree, but it's different
It's
branches
different
with
branches off
leaves.
that tree. That's
It's the
right.
same tree. If we gonna talk about what happened to, it's like saying, if we gonna talk about what happened to George Floyd, and then we gotta also talk about what happened to Emmett Till. It's the same tree.
It's the same shit.
It's the same tree.
It's the same shit.
Or
That's
better yet,
true.
if you don't want to say it's the same tree, it's still growing out the same soil. So no
That's
matter how
right.
you look at it, it's still being nurtured by the same foundation. You know what I'm saying?
The
So
same
now that shit is
minds, the
powerful.
same people.
For real, for
It's
real.
crazy.
Yeah, let me see. Let me get somebody else up here. I appreciate you coming up here, Macha.
You
You
already
know what I'm
know,
saying?
Beth.
Drop them fucking jewels. Now they see why you my bestie. That brain power. I love you for that.
I
For
love
real.
you too, my nigga.
All right, stay safe. Keep me posted. And always check me if I go out
I'm
of
still
pocket. You know I love
watching.
you.
I'm still here.
All right, if you want to come back in to send me joint. All right, let me go. Let me get Brun here. And then Joseph, I'm gonna bring you in right after Brun. Cause I think I do a lot of talking. I be wanting to hear how y'all feel about it. But yeah, that's Macha. That's home in Jersey City. Like, yo, that's just to prove you, like, niggas in the hood ain't just sitting around, ain't no dummies. And the reason why when she came in and I backed off is because, like, yo, she on the war zone. You know what I mean? So I respect, like, when I'm talking, I'm giving y'all my point of view, my brain, but part of my brain comes from my environment and where I come from. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why when y'all see her come up here, when she came up, she gave her point of view, but then she went deeper because she was letting you know that how she see it from where she's sitting at the table in the reality. Because and then I even love more that she addressed what I was saying yesterday with the women. How you doing?
Hi. Okay, so I woke up to you talking. I woke up to Joseph watching your live.
Okay.
And so I was telling Joseph yesterday, I was on 10. So first I was really reacting when I first saw it, and I was glad that people were fighting back and rioting and shit. Like, we not gonna stand up. We not our grandparents' children. Or we not our grandparents. Put it
Right.
that way. We love to say that. We not our grandparents. We gonna fight back. But here's the thing. There was a lot of shit you were saying that I really agreed with. And I wanted to stay in that vein.
Okay.
When we talking about fighting back and like you said, do it with your mind. You have to realize this, and this is something that I think we all took for granted, because even though we seen little racist shit going on like that. Now that we have a real lens on it, we really like, oh shit, like people really still really racist. Like
Really?
we thought that the KKK was some kind of outlier, that was just a bunch of people, that white people would be ashamed to associate with. They're not ashamed. They just know how to hide it. You know what I'm saying? And we hide our shit in a different way. We don't speak up at work about our political views and shit like that because we know it's gonna cost us, or whatever the case may be. And to the point where we kind of don't even go into each other and say, nah, but I'm really serious about this shit for real. We have to realize that white supremacists are just as they are just as fucking passionate. It's not that they don't. Yes, some white people who don't care, but it's a good group who are passionate. You just talked about how they were stabbing people in the neck. They've been waiting for this opportunity. It's even worse than that. If you really think about, if we continue, they letting this shit happen so they can do martial law. Think about when you would hear people, two white supremacists caught trying to start a race war, and we laugh at them like, oh, what the fuck kind of idiot trying to start a race war? Like, that shit sounds so far-fetched and dumb, but it's not.
It's
And
not.
that is what I see. It is fucking not. Not today, and not when you listen to George Floyd's brother when he was on the press conference yesterday, and he was like, listen, it's only so much we can do. It's so, in his words, your words, everybody's words is kind of saying the same shit. Like, look, now I'm not about to keep being fucking peaceful with you, right?
Right.
But here is the thing when it comes to black people. A lot of us, and myself included, I'm scared of fucking guns. I never wanted one in my house. I was in shootouts when I was little, growing up in Brooklyn. Fucking guns freak me the fuck out, bro. I never wanted one in the house. The statistics say you got one in the house, you increase the rate of dying by gun violence, or whatever the case may be, whether it's an accident or somebody get their hands on it. But these redneck people are the ones that is out there in the woods shooting deer. I like to shoot deer.
They've been
They
shooting since they've been 5.
that fucking deer, bro. They not playing with you. That cop, we know for years that we have talked about the KKK and white supremacist groups and neo-Nazis infiltrating the police force. That's not a fucking joke. So for that dude to sacrifice his life, you want to talk about how terrorists will suicide bomb? That nigga was a suicide bomb. That he was a suicide bomb. I'm not one for conspiracies at fucking all.
Nah, it's right.
I'm not no Illuminati bitch, New World Order bitch. But
It's
looking
common
at
sense. It's making sense though, right?
hey now, what the fuck, yo? Especially with the way it was like the perfect storm, because black people was like, hold the fuck up. I know me. I know how I ride. I ain't about to keep just let you watch you kill somebody on the fucking street and you ain't gonna do shit. I'm not about to fucking watch you shoot Ahmaud Arbery for fucking jogging, bro. Like, no. And you see it more and more. More and more you will see niggas snapping back at the cops, punching the cop at whatever the fuck that mean. And my whole point is, we got to be just as fucking passionate as these fucking hidey hole as KKK that's fucking hiding they shit and then coming to work and clocking in like, hey, good morning, guys. Meanwhile, nigga was burning a cross in the fucking field last night and you don't even know. Like, we got to be just as passionate. I already told Joseph, like, we might just have to fucking do it. As hard as I was against getting a gun and I was scared about that shit, you might just have to take me to the fucking gun range.
So let me say this.
I'm not playing like
as a woman, you got a lot of power at the gun range. Right, like look, so as a woman, this is why I don't understand what you're saying about guns, but see, they banking on us for the last 5 years, especially. Not being funny, white people have been buying a lot of guns and a lot of bullets, right?
Yes, they have.
I used to feel that way about guns, like, but not about scared of guns, but like how they say the statistics. And I had an Indian brother in Raleigh sit me down one day. He said, listen, let me tell you something. Guns in the household not the problem. It's the lack of education around them. He said a lot of black people, because we get guns and we don't allow our kids to use them, there's a curiosity in why the kids go fuck with them. He said, but in the average white family or other families, if you're smart, you take your kids out and let them shoot the guns with you, and they're not curious anymore. And it's like that practice, because it's like there's always gonna be a risk too, because that's why the white kids going to shooting up schools. They
Yep.
already got the guns and the weapons at home and access. If our sons, as much as they get mad at us, our kids is going out here getting the guns anyway. But as a woman, let me say this: you can get all of the guns you want, and Joseph probably can too. But when they see his face, they're gonna question him a lot more. So you can go in there and buy all of these straps because they see you as harmless, and it don't matter because they all at home with both of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? But you need them because you got to think not about you. Let's say you got kids. Let's say your mom and them come and stay with you when shit get out of hand. The worst feeling in the world as a human being is when they kick your fucking door in, excuse my language, and you cannot defend yourself.
And you can't do shit about. That's what me and Joseph
That's
was
the
just
worst
saying.
feeling in the world.
We got a front yard security camera, a backyard security camera. We got a living room security camera, bitch. We got fucking Alexa. We got everything arms when we go to sleep. Armed. Alexa.
Armed.
That's all you hear. Everything is armed and shut the fuck down when I go to sleep. Cause I don't play that. I have bad anxiety, and as a lot of black women, we done been through a lot of shit that make us hyper vigilant. You know, hyper vigilant means the worst can always fucking happen to me. And we seen that shit with Brianna. Ain't her name Brianna? Sleep in her fucking bed. Do you know that's my fear? And how I think that's so far-fetched. That's Quana, just calm down and go to sleep. And then what do you hear?
No, you're right. It
The
ain't just white
same
people
shit
teaching.
that you were scared of happening has happened to somebody in the same country. You know what I'm saying? And this is not Sudan. This is not fucking Russia. This is not North Korea. Not to white people. But like you were saying, eventually it feels like we taking some steps backwards. And we are not prepared. We are not prepared. We've been so busy trying to play by the rules. People, rest in peace, Martin Luther King, and I love him. We've been so busy trying to play by the rules. But bro,
can't play by the rules.
It's people that's 25 steps ahead of us, and you can see that in the way that this dude stared at the camera as he pressed the life out of that black man, and he knew what you're gonna do. And even if he go to jail, the jail is full of the Aryan Brotherhood. Welcome, sir. Money on your
and
book.
you got to remember,
you
in
did
prison,
what you were supposed to do, what you've been groomed to do since you were a child. You think that fucking the Taliban is the only one that grooms their kids from birth? You think that what's that other one that be stealing the girls in Africa? You think they the only one with child soldiers? I have seen a little boy with the KKK proud as hell that his dad
Dylan Roof is the perfect example of what you're saying. Dylan Roof.
That we trying to raise our kids to do the right thing. Meanwhile, it's a bunch of people that have been raising fucking neo-Nazi soldiers out here, and then they getting a job in the police force, and
There's
they
a
going
war coming.
and they come. Why do every chance they get, they have those guns when they just go protest to get a haircut? What the fuck did you need guns for? Meanwhile, they downtown Raleigh with AR-15s in the motherfucker. I think the nigga had a bazooka on his back. What are you doing?
I don't know how old you are. When I was a little kid, I'm 34. When I was a little kid, my mother moved from New Jersey, from North, down to Raleigh. When I was a little kid, most of downtown was black owned, right? And we went downtown, and my mother could not believe that the KKK marched downtown Raleigh. Like, they marched proud downtown Raleigh. Like nigga, when you go downtown Raleigh, you see all them statues? Those Confederate statues, every last one of them, every last one. And let me say this: when you talk about the neo-Nazis in the police station, see it go back. This is why I always tell people why I always preach history. During the time when the Klan was hanging all of them black men, it gave America a very bad rep around the world. So there's many up in the high society. There's many different factions. It's not just one group of rich or wealthy. So the higher ups got mad at the low level high up because they were very ignorant. They was hanging niggas. They was giving America's business a bad name. So they actually and you study history, they actually had locked up and shut down a lot of their leaders and pushed them out. That's why it stopped. And all they did was they went underground. Like the mafia still exists underground. And right now they're coming out because what Bruh did last night is the same. When Dylan Roof went in that church, they was trying to get the reaction that they got last night.
Yes. And he knew that. And we be talking about he's a lone wolf. He was just a lone wolf.
He was trained. He was trained. He was prepped. He was taught.
You have to be to sit there and pray and calmly and even out your fucking heart rate and then open fire on people who ain't done shit to you. You gotta
have to believe that they're not humans.
You have to be.
I didn't even thought about that.
Yes, that is what I see. I'm not no conspiracy theorist kind of person. I normally be like, fuck that, what the fuck what they talking about. But
Yeah.
I feel
Said
like
they
what we're seeing, and then now to get a president in the office that's gonna say when the looting starts, the shooting starts, and it just feel like, and you look at it, you feel like you're in a twilight zone. Like, I can't believe nothing this dude say is getting these people to understand that he's a fucking psycho and he shouldn't be in the office.
It's not
But
Trump. Let me explain
but
this.
that's because
It's
that's
not
what the
Trump.
plan was all along.
Right. Okay. Understand this about presidents, right? And in the political arena, right? Because I agree with what you're saying. In the political arena, in politics, the president of a company is the face. In a corporation, there's 10 people that put $1,000 together to make a corporation to start one. These 10 people hire somebody to be the face of their organization. So the wealthy family or faction who's in the White House today, they hired President Trump, like Papa John's with the pizzas, to be their face. When Trump is out talking shit, he's speaking for the people that he's represents. He's the like Nipsey was the face of the Rolling 60s. Trump is the face of some gang or some political agenda. He's the face. So when you see him walk around and doing this stuff, we got to understand that Trump is the representation of some organization, and
He's the
everything
face of the
around
man.
him. Right. So that's why when he say what he say, like the president is a nobody. Listen, America just showed us that if the governors had a power. If the governors don't want to let the state up, then the president is nothing. These are not the United States. The states are not united because how come they told the president no? So if they can tell the president no, then just the same reason, like when they made the arrest for that cop, I wasn't happy because he ain't convicted. Then at the same time, when the FBI said that about Kendrick Jenkins, they said, "Oh, we gonna exhume the body and do it." The FBI step in and look around and do nothing. And you know what they said about King? You know what the FBI said in the archives of public records about King and Malcolm? They asked the FBI and the Secret Service and all these people why they did not stop it. They said, "We are a federal information bureau. We record information. We don't stop murders." They knew that they were going to get killed, but they are information bureau, and so it go back to COINTELPRO. Then so when after they shut down the Klan infiltrated the police stations and the fire departments and the political arena.
It's funny that you say the fire department, because I was just telling my coworker about how when I was little, we had these neighbors that were friends with my male cousins, and their house caught on fire, and we only knew because their aunt ran to our house and was banging on our door, and she was screaming or whatever, and then the next thing I know, the fire department is out there, but they're out there eating donuts and drinking coffee, and they're not putting the fire out. And this family burned, and I was 5, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Why aren't they trying to put the fire out? Meanwhile, my cousins are filling up our trash cans with water and trying to go put the fire out, and they were so, they were upset because the fire station did nothing. They sat there and watched the house burn. And my 5-year-old, my mind was just like so confused, And to this day, I wonder, like, was it a dream? But I know it's not, because the house was burnt and the people were gone. I never saw that those boys again that were friends with my male cousins. They had to be like, early teens, middle, high school age boys in their family. And it's like, I don't know. My whole thing about it is that I want us to not get hung up on semantics as Black people. I want us to unite no matter what. I want us to ride for each other as hard as fucking Trump supporters ride for each other ride for his ass, and he say the most ridiculous ass shit to the point where somebody really did go drink disinfectant. You know what I'm saying? What kind of, like, I want us to let go of the bullshit. I want us to not worry about all this other, you know what I'm saying, nuances that we get caught up in. We gonna ride for each other. I'm gonna ride for you, whether you whether you a hotep, whether you not, whether you gay, whether you trans, whether you this, whether you that, if you are black and you not doing the wrong thing, I'm riding for you. I'm there for you. And I think
Right.
that we cannot get caught up in, you know, this, that, and the next. And like you said, these killers, these gang members or whatever, where the fuck was y'all? I don't condone gang members, but it just don't make sense to me. Cause if you gonna ride on anybody,
Right on
what
your
what
oppressors.
you doing? Like, what are you doing? It don't make sense. But the other
Yeah.
thing to say is that all of us who consider ourselves normal, who consider ourselves removed from thug life, consider ourselves removed from what we think is a conspiracy theory, and just think that, you know, if we go pray over here or whatever the case, I think that we really need to take it serious. We need to over plan and not under plan. I think that we
Yeah.
need be organizing everywhere. We need to have fucking networks of people discussing what are our next steps, what are the demands for our local governments, what are
It's
our
called,
demands
it's what
of
they
our
call
what
it.
are,
It's a think tank.
exactly what Killer Mike said. And
It's a
meanwhile,
think
and
tank.
he's one of the main proponents of going out and protecting yourself. And I'm telling you, you listening to somebody who would get, if you sit a gun on the table in front of me, I will break out in sweats, bro. I probably can't even be in a room with it by myself with nobody else around it. But what I've seen and where I see this going, because we are not our grandparents, we got to start acting like it. We
Right.
got to start acting like we have the means, the opportunity, the technology, and we can look back on how that shit went,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have so many theories of how the shit gonna go. Plan for it. Hell, we might be wrong. They might not really be trying to take us back, but at least they would know not to fucking try.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to take this shit seriously. Like, you better believe that when my daughter come to me and ask me questions, because one thing that has started is the rewriting of history, and them telling our children stupid shit like slaves was workers who
Involuntary
worked for
service.
free. Yeah, like, are you what?
That's what they said in the books. Now they teaching our kids that they were involuntary workers. See, this to go back to what Macha said. When we got a black president, a couple things got taken off the table. It all go back to that, and that's why I say I definitely agree with everything that you saying. I think, and
Yeah,
what they call it with Big Mike? I seen that. It's the think tank.
feel
See,
like
it's a think tank with a whole bunch of black people sitting down at the table for years and years and thinking 30 years ahead. Like since the 1800s, the other races they got groups, especially the elite. They got groups who think about what's gonna happen 50 years, 100 years later, and they prep for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we need, a think tank.
and that's what
But
we need. And
we
that's
need. Garvey said, not to catch you. Garvey said it the best. We can have all of the conscious spiritual awakenings in the world, but without a military, we not getting this land back. They took it in blood. We gonna have to take it back in blood. That's reality. Not being cold. That's the only way. It's no peace. We can't. Our ancestors thought that they thought equality was freedom. Equality isn't freedom. They got two different definitions. So if we want freedom, then we got to be self-sufficient. Meaning we got to be able to feed each other, house each other, work for each other, work for ourselves. And that's the only way we can make demands. But we can't make demands while a lot of women on child support that they need and shit because the niggas ain't helping, or a lot of men bullshitting and out here on the corner, and a lot of people doing it. We can't get it together that way. And
no,
that's the
we
bigger
can't.
problem.
We can't if we dependent on them. If you dependent on them, that's why America got so many countries by the throat. Because a lot of these countries depend on us for something. A lot of them are dependent on our money, or if really not our money, but our military power.
Right.
And that's what Trump was threatening to pull. He threatens to pull away our protection to certain countries because we spend twice as much on our military as all other first world countries combined.
Yeah.
You want to tell you want to talk about how, oh, your taxes is gonna go up if we all get health care. It don't have to, but it will because of greed and because of the way America has themselves set up in the world.
Correct.
You think how can they not see this? Oh, they see it. They just don't give a fuck. They don't care.
They
They
don't
don't
care.
care and they won't care. They don't care and they won't care. You know what I'm saying? And the thing
Yeah.
is that we have to one of my biggest goals, because I'm in real estate, but one of my biggest goals for next year is to buy some land, buy an investment properties, to buy some things that are mine, to
Right.
buy some shit that I own, and to make sure that nobody can
But you
take that
also
away
got
from
to
me.
get
But you got to understand
well,
that they can still take that today because go ahead, bro. They can still take it
no, I'm
because
just
when you
saying you
buy
just
property
also got to
today, it
make
don't work.
sure as we doing stuff ourselves and not trying to be dependent on folks, we still got to get out of that nigga state of mentality, which a lot of our community still has. As you were saying when you first started your live, while we riding, we act there acting dumb and giving the man, you know what I'm saying, all the ammo to call us names and show us on media, portray us as these monkeys, as they always say.
They're gonna do that regardless.
That too, but we also are giving them more of that ammo, and then we're sitting here like, oh, they're still 3 days later. Like I said, you're gonna be asking for those handouts again. You're gonna be begging for the stimulus. You're gonna do all these things to get yourself right back in the same situations, and we're gonna be back here a month from now, 2 months from now, talking about the same shit. So what are we going to do as a community to get ourselves out of that run? All we're doing right now is just talking. You know what I'm saying? You guys out there with no end game, no plan, but this do just get angry, fuck shit up, which you have all the right to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not gonna put that past anybody. You have all the right to we tired of acting like our fucking grandparents. We about to go, like you said, about the young generation now. I'm 32, she's 30. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
are like in the mid between. But them, the people young in their 20s and shit, they grew
You
up
can't
into
tell them
this.
shit,
You can't tell them
and you
shit.
can't tell them
So
shit.
what are we going to do to nurture that?
We need to harness that, and to be real, they some of
Right.
the most smartest, innovative minds that we have seen, because they growing up with a whole bunch of shit that we could never even fathom. I remember being 9 and so who would have thought that I would be looking at you and talking to you wherever the fuck you are? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I two-way calling was a huge thing, like back in the day. Come on now. So it's like for me, I feel like when I got my stimulus check, that shit went in my savings account. And I know
Right.
everybody can't afford to do that. I understand that. But you
Right.
gotta do something. I started with fucking pennies. When I had Leah and I was fucking working at a grocery store making barely over minimum wage, it was nothing. I had nothing. I had no car. I
Right.
just had my mama's roof. Bro, but I had a piggy bank, and every little penny I found meant something to me. And to this day, my husband will tell you, you leave some fucking change on my floor. I got it, bro. It's going in here. You know what I'm saying? Every time he got a stack, give me $1. He be looking at me funny because he know I don't really need it. But I'm putting it somewhere,
Right.
because
Smart though.
I'm gonna turn that dollar later. That shit is gonna grow, and I'm gonna turn it into something more, because that's really all they understand.
Yeah.
That's
Money.
really all they understand. So you got to be, that's my plan. My plan is to not have to depend on no job. I don't want no job to have enough power over me to be like, you was saying all this shit on social media, you fired, now I can't feed my family. No, that's why I
Yeah.
have a license to do some other shit. That's why I know, that's why I have different talents, and I'm trying to work on harnessing all those skills and turning them into different streams of income. And guess where that income is going? I'm saving as much as possible. I'm not gonna lie, I love to fucking shop. But there has been this little voice in the back of my head for a little while now. Every time my income increases, that says, what would the other side do? What would they do? What would they do with their money? All this making your kids get out at 18 years old, and pushing them out there with not shit to do, putting shit in their name and fucking up their credit. That's not what they do, bro. That's
Yeah.
not what they do. That's
Nah, it's
not
not.
what they do. That's not what they do. You wonder, I was in college pissed off. I was in college pissed off. Like, how the fuck this girl's a freshman in college and she driving a whole BMW to class? Like, what the fuck? Like, I am broke as shit, bro.
Yeah.
That's not
I
what
get
they
it.
do.
I get
And
it.
that's not what Lee is gonna do. My daughter, she's not gonna do that. She's not gonna be owing to no one, whatever it takes. She's not gonna be owing to no one. She's gonna get her skills. She's gonna be self-sustainable. You know what I'm saying? And I want us as
Yeah.
a community and organization, I want us to be self-sustainable because we talk about the black dollar, how much power it has. Take it.
We gotta
Take
learn
it.
how to shop with each other first. I think one
Take
thing I learned
it.
is that black people don't like shopping with black people because a lot of time black people do like to shortchange them on the quality or on certain
But
things.
not even just
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
Let's tell both sides of the story. Other times people like to overcharge shit.
Yeah.
You got to understand market value. You got to understand business. You got to take a business class or something and understand about it. Because I got into this thing about, just for a small example, I got into this thing about the nail salons and how we can't find black nail salons. And then somebody's like, well, there are black nail salons, but y'all, want to listen. If it's like 4 nail salons within a 5-minute drive of me, I know they all gonna charge me about $25 for a full set. If you're charging
It probably
35,
costs more than that right now,
I'm
right?
not going there. I'm not going there for $35. I'm not.
Customer
I'm
service go
sorry.
both
I
ways,
can't.
especially.
I can't. You got to understand when you start a business, you probably gonna lose money a lot first before you make money.
Your
And
first
that
2-3 years, you're gonna lose a
you
lot
need
of
to
money.
understand that. You need to understand what the market value is, or whether it's a home, whether it's the cost of your services. You need to understand that.
Right.
So don't, at the same, we want to, because that's all I want is to go to a black nail salon. There's nothing feels better than going into a black business and getting what you want and it being great. Nothing feels better to me. But
Right.
I ain't paying you $10 more for some shit I know I can get, because at the end I am a black business. And that's how I
Right.
run my house. I had to tell my last job that I can't remember. Because they weren't gonna give me a raise.
They're
So
not.
I have to think about what's best for me and my child, because now you're telling me, I run my home like a business. And they were, like, well, what? I was gone in like 3 months after that. I was gone, and
Right.
I made 10,000 more than what the fuck you was paying me per year. And then the
Yeah.
next year over. That's the goal of a business, is to increase their profits or whatever. And they have no soul. They have
Yeah.
no conscience. I don't want to I have a soul and I have a conscience, but I also have to realize who I'm up against.
Well,
You
now I
got to,
feel
I
you.
told my coworker that. I said, you got to think about what would the other person do to you, and then you got to be the one to do it first. And that's fucked up. But when you talking about, we know who we talking about. Let's just be clear. We know who we talking about. When we talking about somebody that's not lived our experience, that's what they think, and that's where you gotta be. When they want to play victim, you play victim first. When they say they're gonna call the fucking cops on you, you beat them
Right.
at their own fucking game. You got the
Shit,
right one.
they still
I'm
might.
crying. I'm
They might
crying.
still pull
Soon
up
as
on you
somebody try to hit
and
me,
still try
I'ma
to
see
get
it
you.
too. What you say?
I said they still might try to pull up because you right about it. Let me get a couple other people that want to come in on,
Right.
but I appreciate your feedback.
He good.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, no problem, bro. Let me get some other people that want to talk on. Let me see. See Keita, and I see Macho want to get back on. Punk ass out there. Hey,
Look, I
what
look
up?
at your puppy. I got one too. Y'all don't look at my hands. Watch them. He put it down already.
Go ahead. But yeah, what's up?
Oh yeah, you told me to join. I don't really know what to say. Move.
Nah, just how you feel about everything. Because like, you one of the people that always really give feedback all the time. And you got a very unique way you look at it. So just how you feel. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Let me start. I just woke up, so. But okay, I'm gonna start with the black people first because I see it in your comments too. I see it on Facebook. One, starting with black people. You have black people that have different religions, different upbringings, different way of thinking. We all think differently. We all strong minded. Most of us is very strong minded.
Yeah.
So how the hell we gonna join up against these motherfuckers, the police, racists, whoever, Uncle Tom? How we gonna join against them? But we arguing about, oh, I believe this and you wrong, your religion is wrong and shit like that. Or your kid's doing this and that's wrong. Or you
Right.
call yourself black and we're not black. Like, who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, they look at us all the fucking same.
They do.
It don't matter. Like religion and shit, that shit don't matter. We should all be united. As far as these young boys, cause I live over here on the south side of Raleigh.
Right.
And they know me. When they see me come, they hate to see me coming because I'm gonna talk my shit. Because if you 15, why you not at school? Y'all out here hanging with these young ass boys instead of telling them get your education. Because at the end of the day, that's all you got. You got
Right.
them. You handed them drugs. You basically have them as sitting ducks during the day instead of them being at school. Even if it's not no black school, but so what?
Right.
That's better than them out here selling drugs, wasting their life away. Because if they don't even got a GED, then what do they have?
Right.
If they're not going to be a business owner or they're not going to be a kingpin, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing that they can do. But
Right.
it just seems like black people don't know how to unite. And you got black people that'll sit out here and argue amongst each other. But then when it's time to speak up against the white people, you don't want to say shit. And I love my grandparents dearly. I love them to death. My grandma, she one of the sweetest women in the world. However, I'm not going to be like you. I'm not going to work for a white person and I got to sneak through their back door because they won't allow me to enter through the front of their home. And I'm taking care of their kids all goddamn day. I'm not going to do that.
See,
I'm not going to
we
be.
also got our grandparents too, though. See, remember, we don't realize that we probably only like 2-3 generations away from slavery. Seriously,
Right.
like us, we really are. Like our great grandmother was a slave. You know what I'm saying? So till there, because I feel the same way you feel. But sometimes as I matured, I started realizing like we got to get them a pass somewhat because when they were little kids, slavery was just ending and everything, all of that bad mindset of be quiet, it was passed down. It really was passed down. So that's why. But you're right. Like, end of the day, I ain't taking care of nobody's kids. And they go back to the black woman that I always talk about.
Right.
Nurture them kids to make it, like, all of this health today is still going on because black women not taking care of the kids. They taking care of their grandmothers and their mothers in nursing homes.
Right. True. But if I was to be like anybody, I could say like black men back in the day. I don't know about y'all, but my grandpa was a country black man. He knew how to live off the land. So he got $5. My grandpa and his brothers gonna go fishing. They gonna hunt some deer. They gonna feed their family. They know how to cock a gun, know how to load a gun, know how to change everything on your car. They could have been businessmen. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They could have ran some shit, really.
Right.
But
they kept certain things from them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was always, okay, you got enough, but not enough. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't fucking know. Like this shit and up there, I really don't fault them people because you never know what somebody's breaking point. That's why I tell my kids, watch what you say to people. Because you never know what you say or what you do if that's going to trigger them to do some crazy ass shit. You never know.
Right.
So them burning down a police station, only thing I got to say is they're going to use that against them. Oh, they burnt it down. Now all the files and shit is gone out of the police station. Oh, they did this and that, so they don't need this. And then when they build the community back up, they make the housing and shit
3 times
to
the
where,
cost.
to where you can't fucking afford it. So now you can't go back to your old neighborhood. I live in the hood, but I got a multi-million-dollar home right here on the corner by where I live that can't none of these motherfuckers over here fucking afford.
Right. So that's what's going to happen. Remember, every major city is being gentrified, right? So
Right.
when you burn down the area, you just move gentrification forward. Because now you give the developers an excuse to move. They probably wasn't planning on redeveloping Minneapolis for another 10 years.
But now that shit is in full effect.
Right. These same neighborhoods that was like poverty, you know, in Chicago, a lot of the projects got knocked down and they like $1 million condos and shit. That's exactly what's about to happen. You knock all that down and they happy because now they about to take back. You haven't noticed how a lot of wealthy people starting to move back to the inner cities and around downtown, so they making downtown everywhere look wealthy?
Yep. Yeah. And they be jogging around here or they be doing all this and that. And then you got these motherfuckers in your neighborhood that don't even want you there. This got fucking food line on Raleigh Boulevard. You right across the street from the projects, but you tooting your nose up at motherfuckers for swiping their EBT card.
That's fact. That's fact. That's fact, though.
You know what I'm saying? And you got meek and mild ass motherfuckers letting these white people talk to them any kind of way. No, bitch, hold up. Because over here you outnumbered.
Right.
I can't be
They
no
comfortable.
Martin Luther King boycotting. Hell no, because if
Now,
you
see,
say
you
some
gotta
shit to
understand, we
me,
live in a weird time, right? And you
right?
really, in the last 10 years, I've seen not just picking on white people, but all races other than us are very bold today. Like, I've seen a picture, my brother showed a picture of this white man with a black shirt that said nigga. And it said, my shirt can say the word because it's black.
You see,
These are very bold statements. Like,
then
I've been in Raleigh and seen motherfuckers say some shit that shit,
some
but
weird
they going
ass
in our
shit.
neighborhoods like that, running that shit. But you always, I don't care. North Carolina, I'm gonna keep it a band. Every job I've ever worked in Raleigh, every job, damn near, except for maybe one or two. As a black man, it always came down to, after like 2-3 years working there, it always came down to like my pride.
Right.
Right. And they always would always put it on the table at some point. So I always like left, you know what I'm saying? Because I always been ambitious. When other people, but I always got knocked too. See, it's a lot of people that's strong. It's a lot of people like us that's super strong. But when we outside in our community, they look at us as cowards, or we talk too much, or we
Yeah,
doing
you
too
or
much.
that bitch. We don't like that bitch because these
Right.
motherfuckers in my neighborhood don't like me. Because if we over here and where we live at ain't that bad, but y'all throwing trash and shit on the ground, pick that shit the fuck up. Don't throw
Because
no
people
trash
want to
in my
live like
yard.
they from the hood. Like when I was on the phone earlier
Right.
with Macha from home, see, and I never be me, because I mean, don't get me wrong, Raleigh got his gangster shit with it. I came up out this motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's a difference between like the slums in Raleigh and the slums like the Raleigh housing and like
In
Jersey
Georgia.
City housing and
Yeah.
Georgia housing and LA housing authority. There is a difference about how many is packed together, how much is on top. There's a difference how aggressive they are. Even though Carolina got their shit, especially Raleigh, you know what I'm saying? They got their shit.
Yeah.
But the difference is what you're saying, if you want me to be honest, is there's a lot of kids who don't live in the fucking projects or in real poverty,
Right,
who
but
turn in their
they got that.
neighborhoods into gangs and impoverished areas because they think it's cool. Where the
Right.
real niggas who come from the hood, we didn't want to. We grew up there and we
It's
lived there.
time
That's
to
our
go.
home. But we ain't trying to be gangster. The environment was already there.
Right.
We're not trying to move to another state to be gangsters all over again. I could have stayed home.
Okay.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm saying. And black people, I just want us to fucking unite. Like you got when she said that she need to take care of her kids, so she need a little bit of government assistance. And motherfuckers like, well, you shouldn't depend on it. But hold on, because I
Hold
know
on.
motherfuckers making 20 plus an hour. That's asking motherfuckers with stamps, can we buy some stamps because my bills paid, but my kids ain't got nothing to eat. The cost of living is
Facts.
crazy.
Right
And
now,
everybody don't
right.
have residual or multiple sources of income.
Right.
So, and this is my thing, if you got the information to put somebody on, put them on. Since
A
you
lot of
know
people
so
won't.
much, they
A lot of
shouldn't be
people won't.
on. Right, they shouldn't be on Section 8 or getting food stamps. So if you can teach them how to get off of that shit, teach them. Don't talk about
Yeah.
it. Let's build each other up.
True.
That shit be pissing me off.
And see just for example, like with the new song, like Little Black Boy, right? When I first wrote it, I wrote the record, but I wasn't trying to offend nobody, since we're speaking about
Right.
like that, right? But I still had to address certain things. And so I think, and I always want to be clear, especially after that record, that my point, and not that I'm saying everybody think that, was to attack black women. What I was trying to say, agreeing with you and agreeing with Mancha, is that, you know, for the people that don't want to work together, who have somebody that it's something, you just don't. A lot of people
Right.
on child support because the women might not want to compromise, or the man just lazy, so she got to go get child support. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It only represented the guys who really was trying to do something that was getting drugged like they was nothing. You know what I mean? But the truth is, let me be clear, since I'm the same guy that made that video. What I really mean is that nobody has the right to tell a woman, any woman, a black woman, or judge them about child support. Because I wasn't making a bar like you go to white men and go get your check. I was just saying that you compromise, you go talk to them instead of compromising with the black men.
Right.
But if people want to go live and say, oh, well, women shouldn't be on child support, we don't have the right to say that as black men, because it really isn't enough of us who stand in full fledged. Like it's we both wrong. We need the black woman will let go. She has to first believe that if she let that government assistant go, that she could depend on that black man, that after 30 days, after 3 months,
baby,
he's not gonna go back to that same bullshit he was on.
I'm not gonna have no drug dealer coming in here, or no nigga that ain't barely making it come in here trying to lead my household. Nigga, I can do bad by myself. And it's hard to say that. And you got black men that you can build up, because I seen niggas come from nothing that I went to high school with, that I'm like, I'm proud of you. Like, you changed your ways. It's black men you can build up out here, and it's black women you can build up. But
Yeah.
everybody not meant to lead. You get what I'm saying? You got
Right.
women and men. Like you said, it goes both ways. Sometimes the woman got to lead. Sometimes the man got to lead. And I be looking at black people like, before we go against the white people, let's talk this shit out amongst us and come on one accord. Stop going against each other. These Puerto Ricans across the street from me, they got 2 houses. I live in a duplexes. All 4 of the houses is the family. They take care of each other. They kids play in their backyard. They take care of each other. Well, one lacking, they pick up the slack. Why black people can't do that?
All right, let
You
me tell you
can't.
what I realized about that. Let me give you some history, right? And the Hispanics love me when I say this,
Oh yeah, you said that to me,
right?
the Mia Moore shit.
Right. The Hispanics, right? Who we call the Mexicans were brown-skinned people before the colonization of South America and what we call Mexico today. When the Spaniards came over, they started mixing. The lighter-skinned kids did not identify with their mothers, meaning their father, their brothers, the darker ones, because they got treated better, right?
Right.
So this is where we get the separation. But what they did was, it was a time when you see how the Mexicans and the Hispanics and the South Salvadorians and the Brazilians, you see how they operate in family? They learned it from us. So when we say the word, like when I was saying yesterday, when it was like, when the Spanish, I was in the store saying this, and the Spanish walked up. When they say I love you, they say mi amor, right? Or love. That means that to be dark skinned, because the word more means brown skin. To be dark skinned, we were love walking. To be one of us represented love. So when you say I love you, say mi amor.
Yeah.
But it's spelled like more. You know what I'm saying?
My love. That's my love.
My love, because we represented love. We was the manifestation of love, which is being used against us today. So when you see the structure of the Mexican, the truth is this: the Mexican need to give us our shit back. Not saying they did anything wrong. I'm saying they need to come and educate us and teach us how to be family again, because they learned from us.
Right.
And they are us, right? And
Right.
then we need to teach them how to be a little bit more ratchet and get some of our warfare. And then
Hold on. I went to school in Georgia now. I'm not, like you said, in Jersey, North Carolina. The
Right.
Hispanics here ain't nothing like the ones in Georgia. Now, when I tell you they bout it now. I ain't even gonna take that from there. I went to school in Atlanta. That's why I be seeing them on Facebook talking about how Lennox got shut down today and how they messed up the whole block and shit. Like, they gonna ride for you. The Hispanics there, they fuck with black people. Like your Vice Kings and Latin Lords and shit.
I seen that shit. Yesterday in LA, they was in a Hispanic community. And the
Yeah.
Hispanics was going ham.
Yeah,
But see, we gotta thank Nip for this shit. Nip and YG and them for going out. Because look, this is what everybody need to understand about the Hispanics. In the real world of prison, in their world, right?
Yeah.
If you go to prison, gang banging doesn't really exist in real prisons, because when you get there, they're gonna tell you like, yo, we at war with the Aryans and the Mexicans. In prison and in the world, the Mexicans don't like niggas. Like that was what was happening in LA and it's still going on in the prisons. The Aryan Brotherhood and the Mexicans and the mafia, right? They don't associate with black people in the street, and that's not judging them as a whole, because a lot of them do. But the truth is, there's a war going on between the Mexicans and the blacks in LA or in California, like in certain areas.
Right, and that shit be blowing me when I see racist Hispanics. Like, the only reason why these white people treating y'all better because they can pay y'all less. You understand? Y'all really ain't understanding currency, and some of them do, and you got some of them that'll stick up like, hell no, it's not going down like that.
Yeah.
But y'all on the same page as us, just the same as poor whites. You think these rich motherfuckers care about your trailer park ass?
They above the poor whites. Let me explain. Okay, so remember I always tell you that white and black statuses, right? Depending on white and okay. I got locked up because I was representing myself in court and I got held in contempt. I ended up beating the case. When they locked me up, I really live this shit. You can look me up and call my name and see for real. So
I can see your ass doing that too.
Hell yeah. So when they locked me up, the sheriffs and them came and talked to me, but I was talking law and getting people out. And a Hispanic came over to me and he showed me his wristband. Did you know that since Obama election, the Hispanics classify as white now? In jail, the Hispanics, they should say white.
What?
Now, by law, the Hispanics and the blacks, they are white people to this land. But the Hispanics during the Obama election, the Hispanics are not under niggas anymore. The Hispanics have risen in the social class system above black people.
Right.
And even above the poor whites. Because think about it. Look at how much wealth has been accumulated in the Hispanic community. The Hispanics, they're gonna look out for each other, but they're not gonna look out for us because they're not completely wrong either. They don't
Right.
respect black men because they feel like black men don't take care of their children, right? They
Right.
don't respect, a lot of things, but at the same time, I tell Hispanics, like, come on now, but a lot of Hispanic men beat the shit out their women, and you there, but how
A
much
lot of them
emotional
cheat
support are
too,
you for
and
your
a lot
woman?
of them love black women, so they see a black man slacking, they be ready to step on in there and spend that cash.
Right, but we so divided that the Hispanic man is taking the black woman and taking her away. The white man is taking the black woman and taking her away. And we can't just get mad at every other race because we ain't completely all the way together. But at the same time, it's kind of like we got to see the power in our union ourselves in order to move forward, in order to do this. And that's why, like, I would always say that when the martial law that's called King Alpha Plan was written in I think 76, right? It's called the King Alpha Plan. In 83 or something, Eisenhower added the Mexicans to it. And this is what he wrote at the bottom. This is why they killed the white boy that loosed it. At the bottom, he told you a 12-hour plan to kill every black person and Hispanic on the continent. And Eisenhower said, I know you thinking, why do we have to kill them, right? He said, because they're bound to the continent by heritage. That means that these people, the Mexicans and the blacks, by blood, own the soil. So you can't send us back to Africa, because if you send us back to Africa,
they don't want us there.
International law, because they can't look. If we were really from Africa, they would. I tell my friends all the time, we was really from Africa after slavery, and they tired of niggas. Don't you think they would have put us on a boat and sent us back?
Right, but they can't send us back because we don't got no ties there.
Right, they so proud of slavery, but there ain't no slavery boats nowhere on display and no museum.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? They proud of slavery, but you can't show me one slave boat and no museum in America.
Hold on 1 second.
Y'all get what I'm saying? That's watching. So it's a lot of bullshit. If as black people, so that's what we identify with. After slavery, if we were from Africa, they would have sent us back. International law states that you can't send a people from a land that they did not come from. We are not the Africans with the tight hair. We are the copper people. Look at history. There were people called the copper people that lived in the Americas. We were different from the Africans because we was mixed blooded. That's where the hair of wool is very pretty hair. If you go on the back of a sheep, that shit feels soft.
Right,
African
that's
hair is very tight. They call it non-equal. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you got like the Somalians or the.
Right. The Somalians got some pretty hair.
Right, they got some pretty
But
hair.
you also got to realize that's only because Africa, the mixing of blood started 20, 30,000 years ago. So even when we look at tribes in Africa,
I'm talking, so you need to be
they're
quiet
more like
and go that way.
they're more like mixed.
Rinse it off.
They're more like mixed blood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when we look at the Somalians today, they're not the Somalians of 20,000 years ago. Just like when we see the Americans of today, we're nothing like our ancestors. So when you hear people say that we own this land, but we're kind of the people. We're kind of we're genetically related to the originators, the creators, and the founders, but we also got other blood in us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Slavery put that European blood in us, and we acting like Bam Bam in it right now.
Get out of here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
so
see,
it can go back.
You can't. I really as far as that, I really don't know because my great grandma, she don't even know what she is.
Right.
My daddy grandma, or God rest her soul, she was 105 when she died 2 years ago. But she didn't know what she was. Like back then, you'll get unknown or you'll get colored, but you're not colored. They'll put white, but you don't look white.
Right.
They really didn't know what the heck, where they came from or what they was. So,
yeah. That's facts. Just a lot of lies. You know what I'm saying?
Right, a lot of lies.
And we got to realize that a lot of the black people who did have land later, like after slavery, was like plantation owners' kids who on their deathbed felt bad. A lot of the abolitionists was mixed. Father was European, mother was a black woman, and then that's why they was allowed to go to school. So this is the hidden history. Booker T. Washington on them. These are mixed kids. They're all mixed. All of the people they taught us in school were mixed, or they was hand chosen to do it. You know what I'm saying? But let me not hold everybody up because I know I've been up here all day, all morning. Let me get offline and get to my day. But I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, this one more thing about the youth. When you said with them. Okay, for instance, this is my last thing, and then I'm about to get off.
Good. Yeah.
So it's a young boy around here. You know what I'm saying? He make a lot of money or whatever. So one day I was like, why haven't you, got your own place or brought you a car? You put cash down. You ain't got to keep renting all these cars. He can get 50,000 cars, or he can rent that one and get another one. You got a lot of them got the potential. They just don't have nobody, the right people leading
They ain't
them.
got no business sense.
Right. And then you got them with a lot of money. You got rappers and stuff that travel back and forth, but they ain't got nowhere to put their family at. They ain't on no Boosie or Wayne thing where they got a whole family land and taking care of everybody. They just don't.
They ain't thinking about it. When a
They
young
ain't
nigga,
thinking about that.
when most black men get their bag, they go buy a chain. They don't go see their baby mother and their kids. A lot of niggas go buy a chain. And like Nipsey said, you buy a chain for 400,000. As soon as you hand them the money, the chain loses
It depreciates
40% of
value.
its value, and it's only worth 175,000. Something
Right.
if that you pay 400, but it's only worth. You know what I'm saying? So you right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, like I appreciate everybody for tapping in. And
All
Keita, I
right.
rock with you because you always on my lives. You always comment, so I appreciate you. I really appreciate you for always tuning in, for real, for real.
All right.
All right, everybody have a good day.